Chapter 222. In the Sunset Forest, Mu Wanyan was riding an off-road motorcycle. Her eyes were filled with excitement as she stared at the escaping single-horned rhinoceros in front of her. Haha, 50 points. I'm going to get it. She turned the accelerator to the max. The motorcycle was like a ferocious beast. It roared and rushed towards the single-horned rhinoceros in the distance. Go, little white fox. When the two sides were 30 meters apart, Mu Wanyan finally gave the order. Little White Fox jumped up with a whoosh and landed accurately on the back of the F-grade single-horned rhinoceros. Then, it was a round of beating. 3 minutes later, the single-horned rhinoceros was lying on the ground, panting heavily. There was a special buckle on its neck. The capture was completed. Hee done. Seeing that she had gained another 50 points, Mu Wanyan smiled happily and was about to leave. Quack, quack, quack on the grass in the distance, a yellow duckling was walking towards Mu Wanyan. It looked very funny and cute as it swayed left and right. Wow, it's a yellow duckling with no grade. Mu Wanyan waved her hand. Little White Fox immediately rushed over, pressed the yellow duckling down, and buckled the special buckle. Then, she found that she had gained 10 points. Quack, quack. The yellow duckling was held by its neck. It looked at Mu Wanyan with tears in its eyes. She felt a little sorry for it. The yellow duckling is so cute. I might as well keep it with me. If possible, when I go back this time, I'll ask Brother Wu to help me tame the yellow duckling into my pet beast. Mu Wanyan poked the yellow duckling's stomach with her slender finger. It immediately let out a continuous quack. Boom. Mu Wanyan got on the off-road motorcycle, turned around, and drove in the direction of the stadium. The off-road motorcycle was running low on fuel. She had to hurry back to the gas station near the stadium to refuel before continuing to capture the beast. 100 kilometers away, under a straw hut. Quack, quack, quack. A roar filled with anger erupted. The next moment, a super-large yellow duck about 2 meters tall crashed into the straw hut and sent it flying. It opened its eyes wide and looked left and right, only to find that the baby that had just hatched had disappeared while it was asleep. Ga. It was angry. Then, he began to search by following the scent. Soon, he locked onto the direction of Sunset Forest and chased after it. The others were unaware of angry yellow duck's arrival. The audience was still watching the battle. The beast masters were still trying their best to find as many ferocious beasts as possible to get a high score. 2:30 in the afternoon. There were still 2.5 hours until the end of the competition. High in the sky, on the surface of Wang Ying's tablet, a powerful surge of energy was detected. This. Wang Ying stared at the small screen with her almond-shaped eyes wide open. Warning, severe warning. A powerful dire beast has appeared at the western border of the Sunset Forest. According to the energy index, its grade has reached C. The entire setting sun forest fell into a deathly silence. Sunset Domestication Center. Manager Qin's expression changed drastically as he hurriedly left the building. He put on the latest nano armor and jumped onto the back of a flaming phoenix. Quick, go intercept the C-class dire beast. Screech! The flaming phoenix's eyes flashed with fighting spirit as it carried Manager Qin into the sky. C-class dire beast. In the villa, Wu Ming's eyes narrowed. He stared at the screen and found that one of the screens was enlarged and took up 80% of the screen. On the screen, a 2-meter-tall, extremely sturdy big yellow duck was running wildly in the forest, its mouth making angry ga sounds. Boom! With a flap of its wings, it was like a sharp blade, cutting the trees and rocks along the way in half. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It could also spit out flames, instantly burning the forest along the way to ashes. Not to mention steel, even the metal tungsten used to make filaments could not withstand such a terrifying high temperature. C-class dire beast, hot yellow duck. Wu Ming stared at the screen and read the data of this small, but terrifying, high-level dire beast. Brother Wu, what should we do? Mu Wanyan and the others are still in Sunset Forest. If this continues, they might be burned to death. The team members were all worried. It's a C-class dire beast. We can't deal with it. Suing frowned and covered her red lips with her hand, worried about Mu Wanyan. In the entire Sunset Domestication Center, only Manager Qin is a C-class beast tamer. If he doesn't do anything, we won't be able to do anything. Gu Shaoqing sighed softly. Screech. At this moment, a sharp sound came from the sky. Everyone left the villa and looked in the direction of the sound. They saw a figure standing on the head of the flaming phoenix, flying towards the western border of Sunset Forest at a speed of more than 200 meters per second. It's Manager Qin. Everyone felt hopeful. Sunset Domestication Center was just a border area of Nanjiang City. It was used as the venue for the national competition, so there were not many strong beast tamers there. However, it was not far from Nanjiang City. As long as Manager Qin could hold on for a while, Nanjiang City might send B-class or A-class beast tamers to support them. C-class hot yellow duck, Wu Ming looked in the direction Manager Qin went. He gritted his teeth and took out the C-class master ball he bought from the mall. Long Debeo, follow me. Wu Ming put on the dark golden armor in an instant and jumped onto Long Debeo's back. He told it to fly towards the western border of Sunset Forest as fast as it could. Brother Wu, where are you going? It's dangerous. The others tried to stop him, but it was too late. In the sky. Wu Ming stood on Long Debeo's head and told it to fly as fast as possible. His right hand could not help but hold the C-class master ball tightly. The hot yellow duck was an ownerless C-class beast. If he could tame it, it would definitely increase his strength. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He could not miss it. Look, isn't that Wu Ming? The audience saw Wu Ming standing on Long Debeo's head. Although he was wearing the dark golden armor, his familiar outfit was recognized. Wu Ming, it's dangerous. Wang Ying, who was sitting on the back of a flying pet, saw Wu Ming flying over. She immediately went over and warned him. I'm here to help, Wu Ming said in a deep voice. Wu Ming, are you sure you can help? Not far away, Supervisor Qin, who was riding on the fiery phoenix, turned around and flew toward Wu Ming and Wang Ying. She shouted through the radio. I can tame this C-class hot yellow duck, Wu Ming said with certainty. Really? Supervisor Qin opened her eyes wide. She found it hard to believe. However, on second thought, Wu Ming could tame a D-class beast in 5 minutes. He must be a capable trainer. Since he was willing to step up at this critical moment, he must be telling the truth. Come with me. Supervisor Qin chose to trust Wu Ming. She led him and Wang Ying to the western border of Sunset Forest. On the big screen. On the screen, Supervisor Qin, Wu Ming, and Wang Ying each rode on a flying pet and headed to the site of the incident. At that moment, they were like warriors going to the front line. People couldn't help but respect them. At the western border of Sunset Forest, the C-class hot yellow duck finally located Mu Wanyan, who was 2 kilometers away. It had also smelled the little yellow duck. Quack, quack, quack. The duck roared and dashed over. Chapter 223. I understand now. That Class C dire beast is your mother. Mu Wanyan learned from Wang Ying's broadcast that a Class C blazing yellow duck had entered Sunset Forest. She rubbed little yellow duck's head and realized that this was a story of a mother looking for a dire beast cub. And the instigator of this matter was her. Why am I so unlucky to run into a Class C dire beast cub so easily? Mu Wanyan wanted to cry. If she had known that little yellow duck's mother was a terrifying Class C blazing yellow duck, she would never have dared to catch little yellow duck. Mu Wanyan tried to escape, but the off-road motorcycle was completely out of gas. With her legs, there was no way she could outrun a Class C blazing yellow duck that could run at 200 meters per second. Seeing that the blazing yellow duck was getting closer and closer, Mu Wanyan panicked and did not know what to do. After thinking about it, she ran. As for little yellow duck, she had already unlocked its neck and put it on the ground. Quack, quack, quack. Little yellow duck tilted its head and looked in the direction that Mu Wanyan had left. It smiled and chased after her. Don't come over. Mu Wanyan's mind was about to explode. I've already let you go. Why are you still chasing me? She turned around and roared at little yellow duck. The latter cried out excitedly and continued to chase after Mu Wanyan. Because little white fox could not run with Mu Wanyan, they could only run at a speed of a few meters per second in the forest. In front of the blazing yellow duck, that could run at 200 meters per second, it was the speed of a turtle. Quack, quack, quack. Little yellow duck swayed left and right, chasing after Mu Wanyan. It wanted to play with her. A pair of intelligent eyes blinked, full of curiosity about this world. In its opinion, Mu Wanyan, who also walked on 2 feet, should be its own kind. She might even be its sister. Stop chasing me. Mu Wanyan's mind was about to explode. She sped up and ran like crazy. A few kilometers away, the blazing yellow duck kept running, getting closer and closer to Mu Wanyan. In the sky, Wu Ming, Supervisor Qin, and the host, Wang Ying, were also rapidly approaching. Whoosh! Long Debao first accelerated to a high altitude, and then swooped down at a high speed. His speed broke through 100 meters per second, and he continued to accelerate. Finally, he flew at a low altitude at a speed of more than 300 meters per second. Mr. Qin's phoenix and Wang Ying's flying pets were fast as well. They were getting closer and closer. Ga. On the ground, blazing yellow duck had also found its lost duckling. It held the duckling's neck in its mouth and glared at Mu Wanyan, who was lying on the ground a dozen meters away. Whirr! At this moment, the little white fox was lying on the ground, dying. Just now, in order to protect Mu Wanyan, the little white fox had bravely jumped at the blazing yellow duck. However, before it could even touch the duck's feathers, the little white fox was hit by the air cannon. It almost died on the spot. If it weren't for the fact that the little white fox had an E-rank healing aura and F-rank self-healing to protect itself, any other E-rank pet would have died a long time ago. Little white. Mu Wanyan ran over and hugged the little white fox tightly. Tears were streaming down her cheeks. Shriek! Right then, Supervisor Qin and the phoenix arrived first. The phoenix let out a shrill shriek. Whoosh! A D-rank tornado was spat out. All the trees nearby were torn apart, revealing an open space with a radius of 100 meters. Mu Wanyan and blazing yellow duck appeared clearly in everyone's sight. At this moment, Wu Ming and Long Debao arrived as well. They landed next to Mu Wanyan. Heal her now. Wu Ming gave an order at once. Long Debao opened his mouth at once and used his E-rank healing aura. A soft green glow fell and seeped into the wounded little white fox. Its broken ribs were gradually healed, and it could breathe normally again. Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. We have arrived at the scene of the disaster with Supervisor Qin. At the moment, Supervisor Qin's pet, the C-rank flaming phoenix, is confronting the C-rank blazing yellow duck. Wang Ying began to broadcast the scene. As you can see, the blazing yellow duck is holding a little yellow duck in its mouth. It seems that the little yellow duck was caught by Mu Wanyan. As its mother, the blazing yellow duck is chasing after the little yellow duck. As an experienced host, Wang Ying was also an excellent beast tamer and beast tamer. She was very good at analyzing the situation at the scene. That explains it. Mu Wanyan is really something. She even dared to catch the baby of a C-rank blazing yellow duck. Awesome. The audience in the stadium was in an uproar. They only had 2 words for Mu Wanyan. Awesome. Quack, quack, quack. The blazing yellow duck put the little yellow duck on its back. It opened its mouth and shouted at the C-rank flaming phoenix in a cold voice. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Blazing flames suddenly burst out from the blazing yellow duck. Like a shield, the flames protected the blazing yellow duck and the blazing yellow duck. It's a talent similar to a D-rank super shield. It's called the C-rank blazing shield. It has a certain gravitational effect. Wu Ming read the information immediately. Wu Ming, you know about this talent? Wang Ying heard his voice and asked at once. Yes, I've seen it before. Wu Ming nodded. At the moment, the projection beast was recording the scene. The conversation between Wu Ming and Wang Ying was also transmitted to the stadium. Wu Ming is really something. He even knows about this. After all, he is a star in the pet tamer competition. How can he not be awesome? I seriously suspect that Wu Ming is a C-rank pet tamer. Don't be ridiculous. How can he become a C-rank pet tamer at this age? The test alone is enough to give people headache. The audience was discussing animatedly. In the sunset forest, the blazing yellow duck was staring at the flaming phoenix, the only other C-rank pet apart from itself. Its eyes were filled with rage. Boom! The blazing yellow duck opened its mouth and breathed out blazing flames. The flames were like a python that could turn and curl toward the flaming phoenix. Boom! The flaming phoenix breathed out flames as well, dispersing the blazing yellow duck's flaming python. The flaming phoenix's eyes were filled with arrogance. As a pet, the flaming phoenix had chosen the best combination for each of its talent. The evolutionary food it ate was of superior or even superior quality. The additional benefits were great. Therefore, even though they were both C-rank pets, the flaming phoenix could suppress the blazing yellow duck. Wu Ming, how do you plan to tame the flaming phoenix? Standing on the flaming phoenix's head, Mr. Qin asked in a deep voice. I need you to help me break the blazing yellow duck's C-rank blazing shield. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that the taming will succeed. Wu Ming said. He was holding the C-rank Master Ball in his hand. Since this was the first time he had used the Master Ball, he wasn't sure if he could tame the flaming yellow duck effectively with the shield between them. No problem. Mr. Qin was already commanding the flaming phoenix to attack. Shriek! The flaming phoenix dashed over. The flaming phoenix reached out its sharp claws and tore apart the blazing yellow duck's flaming python. A fierce battle broke out. Chapter 224. Quack, quack, quack. The blazing yellow duck did not back down. Women were weak, but mothers were strong. After becoming a mother duck, it had become much fiercer. Although it could not defeat the flaming phoenix, it still wanted to fight. Because if it ran away, it would definitely be chased aimlessly, and little yellow duck would lose its stable space to grow. Therefore, mother duck would definitely fight to the death. Even if it was seriously injured, it would severely injure the flaming phoenix to prevent it from chasing and exposing the duck nest. What a fierce duck! Supervisor Qin realized that the blazing yellow duck was biting the flaming phoenix. Both of them dropped a lot of feathers. Quack, quack, quack! Caw! Mother duck and the flaming phoenix did not continue to use their talent. Instead, they returned to the most primitive dire beast phase. When the others saw the battle through the big screen, they were all scared out of their wit. A battle between Class Cs was really terrifying. Their bodies were at least 10 times stronger than super alloy steel. In front of them, whether it was hard rocks or thick ancient trees, everything was like tofu. They could tear them apart with a light touch. Wu Ming had been watching the battle from the side. At this time, the little white fox was finally healed and could stand up. It hurriedly looked at Long Debeo with gratitude. Brother Wu, thank you. Mu Wanyan hugged the little white fox and stayed close to Wu Ming, nervously watching the fierce battle not far away. Brother Wu, what are you holding in your hand? Wan Xiu noticed the Class C Master Ball in Wu Ming's hand. She felt that this thing looked very unfamiliar. If she did not know better, she would have thought that it was a yo-yo. A toy. Wu Ming smiled. He had been observing the battle, but the shield on the surface of the Class C blazing yellow duck's body was still intact. Therefore, he did not have a chance to attack. He could only continue to wait. Caw. However, at this time, the flaming phoenix let out a high-pitched cry. One of its wings flapped with all its strength and hit the head of the blazing yellow duck. Bang! The flaming shield was finally broken. Countless sparks flew in all directions and fell all over the ground. Wu Ming, the shield is broken. Supervisor Qin shouted loudly. I got it. Wu Ming seized the opportunity and pressed the red switch on the surface of the Class C Master Ball. He aimed at the Class C blazing yellow duck that was dozens of meters away and threw it with all his might. Go, Master Ball! Wu Ming shouted the slogan. This was something that had to be shouted when using the Master Ball. It could be considered as a voice unlock. Otherwise, it would be useless. In the gymnasium, the audience watched the entire process of Wu Ming throwing the Master Ball and heard the slogan he shouted. Master Ball? What's that? The audience was dumbfounded. But in the next moment, a scene that shocked everyone appeared. The C-Class Master Ball disintegrated in midair. Like a transformer, it turned into a sharp spike. A propeller appeared behind it, and it moved at a high speed of more than 100,000 revolutions per minute. Rip! It increased its speed to over 100 meters per second and plunged into the back of the C-grade blazing yellow duck. However, the moment he touched it, the spike became as soft as water and seeped into the duck's body. This scene stunned the entire audience. What happened? Even Supervisor Qin and Wang Ying were stunned. Quack, quack, quack. After the C-Class Master Ball seeped into the big yellow duck's body, it trembled and fell to the ground, losing consciousness. Taming C-Class blazing yellow duck. Current progress: 10%, 50%, 100%. A mechanical voice sounded in Wu Ming's mind. Wu Ming, what happened? Supervisor Qin looked at Wu Ming, wanting to seek an answer. Quack, quack. At this time, the blazing yellow duck finally stood up again, but the tyrannical light in its eyes had faded a lot. It looked at the humans around it with a gentle gaze. Big yellow duck, come here. Wu Ming waved at the C-Class blazing yellow duck. It tilted its head and looked at Wu Ming. A sense of familiarity arose spontaneously. Then, it ran toward Wu Ming. Under everyone's shocked gaze, the big yellow duck sat on the ground and let Wu Ming touch its head. It looked very docile and well-behaved. Everyone, don't worry. I have tamed it, Wu Ming whispered. His voice, along with the transmission of the projection beast, quickly spread throughout the entire Sunset Forest, causing a sensation. Oh my God! What did Wu Ming throw out? How can it tame the C-Class blazing yellow duck? Begging. The audience was excited. The host, Wang Ying, stared at this scene, dumbfounded and speechless. Only Supervisor Qin was still calm and asked in a deep voice, Wu Ming, what was that thing just now? A tool that could quickly tame a beast. If it could be popularized, then it would be a blessing for all of humanity. That's called the Master Ball. Wu Ming gently stroked the head of the C-Class blazing yellow duck and explained, This is my latest technological product. It can't be mass-produced yet, but it has a super-efficient beast-taming effect. Master Ball, Supervisor Qin whispered. He felt that this term was very unfamiliar to him. At the side, the host, Wang Ying, finally came back to her senses. She asked into the microphone, Sir Wu Ming, we're still in the competition stage of the Beastmasters catching the ferocious beasts. Since you've resolved the crisis, why don't you leave first and let the competition continue? Okay. Wu Ming nodded and jumped onto Long Debao's back. The C-Class blazing yellow duck could not fly, so it also jumped onto Long Debao's back. Quack, quack, quack. Little yellow duck lay on its mother duck's back and called out to Mu Wanyan mischievously. It seemed to be saying, Goodbye, sister. Wu Ming could tell that little yellow duck liked to play with Mu Wanyan, so he said, I'll take little yellow duck with me first. I'll let you two meet again later. Thank you, Brother Wu. Mu Wanyan nodded. Whoosh. Long Debeo flapped its wings and carried Wu Ming to the villa area of the Sunset Training Center. The competition continues, Supervisor Chin shouted into the microphone. Standing on the head of the C-Class Flaming Phoenix, they flew back to his office building. The Beast Tamer competition continued. However, the audience was still immersed in the process of Wu Ming taming the blazing yellow duck. They could not calm down and forget about it for a long time. In the villa area, Lin Yin and Luo Shudai were sitting on the sofa, watching Long Debeo disappear from the screen. Then they looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. Wu Ming has such a powerful technique? Luo Shudai found it hard to believe. If Wu Ming also used the Master Ball in the taming competition, wouldn't his score be raised to a terrifying level? Lin Yin was silent for a long time before she said softly, "That's not surprising. Wu Ming is good at creating miracles. Didn't he say before that this is called the Master Ball? It's a new technology, but it can't be mass-produced yet." Luo Shudai's interest was piqued. She was going to visit Wu Ming and ask him about the Master Ball to figure out what kind of technology it was. Chapter 225. In the Sunset Forest. The Beast Tamer capture competition was still going on. Mu Wanyan changed into a brand new off-road motorcycle. She brought a bottle of fuel and set off again. Congratulations to D-level Beast Tamer Yu Xiaobo for capturing an E-level ferocious beast, Ice Rabbit. 150 points. Congratulations to E-level Beast Tamers Li Mahuang, Huang Sanba, and Mu Wanyan for capturing an E-level ferocious beast, Durian Beast. 150 points each. Congratulations, in the last hour or two, all the teams had gained a lot. The F-level and E-level ferocious beasts that had been hiding all came out. In the gymnasium, looking at the rapidly increasing score on the big screen, the audience felt strange. What's going on? Why are all the ferocious beasts with grades coming out? The audience was whispering to each other. In the villa area, Lin Yin looked at Luo Shudai and asked, "Shudai, do you know what's going on?" Luo Shudai nodded, "Of course." Lin Yin was interested. "Don't keep me guessing. Tell me what's going on." Luo Shudai shrugged her shoulders and said with a calm face, "Isn't it simple? When the sea-level blazing yellow duck and the sea-level flaming phoenix were fighting, the energy waves were too strong and scared those ferocious beasts. They all thought they were being targeted, so they ran out of their hiding places. That's how the other beast tamers encountered them." "I see." Lin Yin was enlightened. On the big screen, the number 1 team was still Thunder City. With more than 600 points, they were way ahead of the other teams. However, at this moment, Garan Castle's score increased by 150 points to 500 points. The gap between them and Thunder City was narrowed. "There's only half an hour left," Lin Yin murmured. "Judging from the current situation, Thunder City should be number 1 for sure." In the individual competition, Yu Xiaobo got 500 points all by himself. He was definitely number 1. As for Garan Castle, it should be number 2. In another villa, Wu Ming had returned and was sitting on the sofa. The yellow duck and the duckling were squatting on the cool tiles, looking at the big screen and quacking from time to time. The team members sat on the sofa, not daring to move. "Wu, Captain Wu, I'm so scared." One of the female team members glanced at the C-grade blazing yellow duck. She swallowed her saliva and shivered. That was a C-class dire beast. In the Garan Castle, this beast was comparable to a C-grade dragon elephant and could become a guardian deity. But now Wu Ming had actually tamed one. The Class C blazing yellow duck was a wild beast. It didn't have many talents, and it didn't have a strong combination of skills. In terms of combat ability, it couldn't keep up with pets of the same rank that had been carefully trained. However, it was still a C-class beast. None of the team members were unafraid. "Don't panic." Wu Ming took a sip of ice water. "The blazing yellow duck has been tamed by me. As long as you don't take the initiative to attack, Under normal circumstances, even if you touch its butt, it will not attack you. Really? The team members couldn't believe it. Even though Wu Ming had said so, they still didn't dare to touch the blazing yellow duck. At most, they could watch it from a distance of several meters. Come on, let's continue to watch the competition. Wu Ming pointed at the big screen. What's there to watch? Garan Castle is destined not to win first place in this round. Yes. Look at Yu Xiaobo. He got 500 points on his own. No one can beat him in the individual competition. We can't compete with him. The team members pulled long faces. Wu Ming smiled. It's okay. It's only second place. Actually, it's not a bad thing. We can stay in the top 30. It's not a loss. The team members' eyes glowed at his words. Yes. The minimum requirement for Garan Castle was to stay in the top 30. That way, it could become one of the top 100 cities under construction in the future. It wouldn't be divided among other cities. That would be good enough. The team members were in a better mood at this thought. In the sunset forest, Mu Wanyan was chasing after a lone F-grade dire beast, the V-shaped bear. It was a black bear that was only 1 meter tall and had a white V-shaped pattern on its chest. It was very strong. In terms of strength, Little White Fox couldn't compete with it. However, as it spat out a weakening bubble, the V-shaped bear was immediately wrapped up, and its physical attributes were temporarily reduced. Beat it up, Mu Wanyan immediately ordered. Little White Fox leaped out like a white lightning bolt. Its 2 fleshy little claws kept slapping the V-shaped bear's nose, causing it to feel a sharp pain and tears to flow. Next, the V-shaped bear was beaten up, but every time it was injured, it would be healed by the E-grade healing aura. Then, it continued to be beaten up. 5 minutes passed like that. Ao, the V-shaped bear immediately lay on the ground with its forehead on the ground. It whimpered at Little White Fox to show its submission. Haha, it's done. Mu Wanyan rushed up and put a special lock on the V-shaped bear's neck. Congratulations on obtaining 50 points. Your current personal total score is 370 points. You are temporarily ranked second. Mu Wanyan heard the sound from the small tablet that she carried with her. Almost 400 points. Not bad. She was very happy and continued to catch dire beasts. Quick. I found a lone E-grade dire beast, the yellow-haired hound. It runs very fast. Let's catch it together. At this time, Li Ma Huang's excited and fast voice came from Mu Wanyan's headset. No problem. Report your coordinates. Mu Wanyan and Huang Sanba immediately set off. The 3 of them separated to catch the dire beasts, but the distance between them was not more than 10 kilometers. It was relatively easy to meet up. In the sky. The host, Wang Ying, broadcasted into the microphone. Everyone, we have entered the last 25 minutes. Please pay attention to the time. Good luck. In the jungle, Li Ma Huang sat on the shoulder of a combat soldier and looked at the yellow-haired hound dozens of meters away. He did not even blink, fearing that it would get lost. Hurry up. There are only 20 minutes left. Don't rush us. We're on the way. The other 2 were rushing over as fast as they could and gradually formed an encirclement. 15 minutes later, they finally blocked the E-grade dire beast yellow-haired hound in a stone forest that stretched for a few kilometers and began the hunt. Look, there's another E-grade dire beast hunting battle. In the audience, someone saw one of the split screen. It was the scene of Mu Wanyan, Huang Sanba, and Li Ma Huang besieging the E-grade yellow-haired hound. Garan Castle is going to capture another E-grade dire beast. Not bad. The audience kept praising. This hunt went smoothly. 5 minutes later. Congratulations to the Garan Castle team for successfully capturing the E-grade dire beast yellow-haired hound. Team members will get 150 points each. The host, Wang Ying, broadcasted the entire event. At this time, there were only a few minutes left before the end of the competition. Under such circumstances, The possibility of catching another dire beast was very small. However, Mu Wanyan and the rest still continued to work hard. They would not give up until the last moment. Ring, ring, ring. Finally, the bell signaling the end of the competition rang. Chapter 226. This ferocious beast catching competition, which included both individual and team competitions, finally came to an end at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun was setting in the west. All the participants brought their pets with them. Some were smiling, some were dejected, and some were expressionless. They rushed to the stadium, trying to get there before 6 o'clock in the evening. Thank you for your participation. This competition has come to an end. We are now calculating the final points. Since the points of this competition are not too exaggerated, there is no need to multiply it by a factor. The current points of each team are the points. The same goes for individual points. The host, Wang Ying, broadcasted the entire competition. However, this afternoon, due to the arrival of the C-grade blazing yellow duck, we were delayed. Here, we would like to express our gratitude to Mr. Qin and Mr. Wu Ming, she added. In the tall building, Mr. Qin was sitting in his chair, looking at the screen in front of him. He smiled and did not mind. After a while, he stood up and walked to the window. He looked at the single-family villa that belonged to the Garan Castle's team of trainers. I have to admit that Wu Ming is amazing. Master Ball. What kind of top-notch technology is this? It can tame a C-grade ferocious beast in a few seconds. I can't help but be curious. However, Wu Ming has this technology. He must have been targeted by many tycoons. His safety is also a problem, Mr. Qin murmured. However, he was not going to do anything. He was the manager of the Sunset Domestication Center and a C-grade beast tamer. However, compared to the big forces in Nanjiang City, he was still not qualified to intervene in the competition between geniuses. At 6 o'clock in the evening, all the participating beast tamers had arrived at the stadium. They stood in a square and looked at the big screen. The host, Wang Ying, found everyone was here. She immediately said into the microphone, "Ladies and gentlemen, we will now announce the final points. Thunder City wins first place in the team competition of the ferocious beast catching competition. Total points, 810. Congratulations! Garan Castle wins second place in the team competition. 780 points. Only 30 points away from first place. What a pity! Xiao Yuanqing wins third place in the team competition. 630 points. Daxing City wins fourth place in the team competition. 590 points. Next up is the winner of the individual competition. He is the D-grade beast tamer from Thunder City, Yu Xiaobo. In this competition, he alone obtained 580 points. Congratulations! Second place in the individual competition goes to E-grade beast tamer from Garan Castle, Mu Wanyan. Her performance in this competition was outstanding. During the competition, she even caught the cub of a C-grade blazing yellow duck. She was very brave and got a total of 430 points. Congratulations! The host, Wang Ying, announced loudly. Ha ha ha! Mu Wanyan is awesome. This is a fierce person who even dares to touch a C-class direbeast's cub. I'm ashamed of my inferiority. The audience burst into laughter. Upon hearing this, Mu Wanyan covered her face in embarrassment. She didn't want to. If she had known that Little Yellow Duck had a C-grade mother duck, she would never have dared to touch Little Yellow Duck. In the Villa District, the players from Garan Castle also laughed. Mu Wanyan is really awesome. The next time I see her, I'm going to ask for her autograph. The beast tamers present started to tease her. Quack quack. Little Yellow Duck was squatting in the hall on the first floor. When it saw the image of Mu Wanyan flashing on the big screen, it immediately stretched its neck and cried out. We'll meet again in the future. Wu Ming reached out his hand and rubbed little yellow duck's head. Then, he poked its belly with his finger, triggering a series of quacks that lasted for a long time. Alright, this beast tamer dire beast catching competition ends here. See you next time. The host, Wang Ying, said a few words and left the scene. And the audience also began to leave in an orderly manner. Mu Wanyan, please give me your autograph. Warrior, please give me your autograph. Many audience members surrounded Mu Wanyan, giving her and the little white fox a big fright. After hurriedly signing a few autographs, she rushed out of the stadium as if she was running away. She returned to the villa with Huang Sanba and the other beast tamers from Garan Castle, ready to lie low for a while. In the villa, Wu Ming turned off the screen in the stadium. He turned his head and asked Su Ying, who was eating potato chips next to him, "Captain Su, is there any news about the next competition?" "Not yet." Su Ying shook her head. Ding dong. As soon as he finished speaking, Su Ying's tablet beeped with a message notification. She quickly opened the tablet and saw the message in the captain's group. There's news. In 3 days, the third stage of the Beast Tamer competition will be held. The content is healing and communicating with pets in berserk mode. Su Ying opened her eyes wide. The other team members were also very surprised. Wow. Did the organizers change their mind? Yeah, they're actually willing to announce the content and time of the competition in advance. That's rare. Could it be that they changed the rules at the last minute? The team members began to chatter and discuss among themselves. I don't think so. Su Ying frowned slightly. The organizers of the Beast Tamer competition really didn't have any credibility. They changed the rules and content of the competition every day. Their credibility was too low. But this time, Su Ying felt that the organizers wouldn't change the rules at the last minute. After all, healing and communicating with pets in berserk mode wasn't an easy task. No matter what, we have to prepare well, Wu Ming said. Yes. The team members nodded. Although they weren't qualified to participate in the competition at the moment, they were learning from Wu Ming and the others and had made great progress. Of the remaining 7 team members, one of them had just advanced to level E, becoming the 4th level E tamer in the team. If one day Su Ying, Gu Shaoqing, and Wu Ming couldn't participate in the competition due to special circumstances, she could replace them. 8:00 at night. After dinner, Wu Ming sat on the hanging basket on the roof, leisurely looking at the starry sky. Wu Ming, I'm here for you. All of a sudden, he heard a familiar voice from the ground, which surprised Wu Ming. He stood in front of the railing and looked down. Luo Shudai, what are you doing here? Wu Ming didn't expect that Luo Shudai would come to visit him in person, not to mention that the level D Emperor Penguin was with her. Oh, seeing Wu Ming, the Emperor Penguin raised its head and made a sound as if it were greeting him. Give me a second, Wu Ming replied. He ran back to his room to grab something, went downstairs, and took Luo Shudai to the tea room on the 2nd floor. I'm here for something. Luo Shudai sat on the couch. She darted a glance at the yellow duck that was running around in the room. Her eyes glowed. She was about to grab the duck and pinch it. Quack, quack, quack. All of a sudden, the level C scorching yellow duck appeared next to her and stared at her. Luo Shudai felt goosebumps all over her body. She quickly withdrew her trembling hands. Ahem, ahem. Luo Shudai cleared her throat to cover up her embarrassment. She brushed the hair in front of her forehead and said, Wu Ming, I'm here because I want to see the Master Ball. So, can you show it to me and broaden my horizons? Chapter 227. Wu Ming smiled. At first, he didn't know why Luo Shudai was there. However, when he took her to the tea room on the 2nd floor, Wu Ming figured out what she was thinking. She was here for the Master Ball. Why should I show it to you? Wu Ming had a playful expression. Luo Shudai's face turned stiff. Yes, that was a miraculous product of technology. It could even tame a Class C beast quickly. Why should he show it to her? Soon, the tea room fell into silence. Luo Shudai rolled her eyes and finally had an idea. She raised her chin and said, "I just want to take a look. What's the big deal? It won't cost you anything." She shamelessly moved closer to Wu Ming. "Come on. Just take a look." She reached out her hand and crooked her finger at Wu Ming. With her other hand, she took out a Class E evolutionary food from her pocket and put it on the table. "This is a Class E evolutionary food, soaring wings of light. It's of medium quality. Just show me the master ball and I'll give it to you." Luo Shudai raised her eyebrows at Wu Ming. "No." Wu Ming shook his head. "Middle quality evolutionary food? Sorry, but all my evolutionary foods are of the superior quality. I don't want your middle quality ones," Wu Ming complained in his mind. "Why not?" Stingy." Luo Shudai pouted. She crossed her arms and thought for a moment. "I have an evolution crystal for pets. Do you want to take a look?" Wu Ming squinted his eyes. Evolution crystal for pets? That was a treasure. It was necessary for pets to reach the C rank. Without it, pets would be stuck at the peak of the D rank, unable to evolve to a higher level. "Sure, show it to me," Wu Ming said. I won't give it to you." Luo Shudai was proud. "Unless you show me the master ball." "Forget it." Wu Ming waved his hand. It was just an evolution crystal for pets. He could go to Nanjiang City after the competition and buy one. Or, he could ask Linine for help. "You? Why are you so stubborn?" Luo Shudai was anxious. Wu Ming was really annoying. "Alright, the conversation is over. You can go back now." Wu Ming stood up and pressed on Luo Shudai's shoulders, pushing her towards the door. "Don't touch me, pervert." Luo Shudai was anxious. She reached out her hand and pinched a 7-colored crystal, which was sparkling under the light. Wu Ming's eyes lit up. Was this a pet evolution crystal? He quickly activated his eye of insight. Name: Pet Evolution Crystal, a treasure grade. C mass: 15 grams. Effect: by swallowing a pet evolution crystal, there is a chance that the pet will successfully evolve to the C rank. The more the pet takes, the better the effect. Reading the last sentence, Wu Ming was dumbfounded. As it turned out, one evolution crystal didn't guarantee that a pet could advance to the C rank. There was only a certain probability. The more he consumed, the higher the probability. Wasn't this just asking for money? "Is this expensive?" Wu Ming asked. "Starting from 10 million. Luo Shudai put away the evolution crystal. "And there is no upper limit. That is quite expensive." Wu Ming was surprised. No wonder the number of C-rank pets was declining. It was because the evolution crystals were too expensive. That was just a small one and the price was starting from 10 million. To make matters worse, one evolution crystal didn't guarantee that a pet would evolve to the C rank. The pet would have to take it many times. That being the case, to train a C-rank pet would cost over 100 million. How about it? You have seen the evolution crystal. Now, can you show me the master ball? Luo Shudai crooked her finger. Wu Ming thought for a moment and felt that it didn't matter if he taught her something. So, he walked to the side of Hot Yellow Duck, patted its head with his hand, and pressed down on a special protrusion hidden in its hair. What happened next stunned Luo Shudai. Something that looked like flowing water emerged from the blazing yellow duck's head and enveloped the duck. It was emitting a soft glow and gradually shrank into a fist-sized, irregular red and white ball. There was a small iron chain on the ball. It seemed to be made of metal with a special luster. What? Luo Shudai was completely stunned. How could such a huge blazing yellow duck turn into a fist-sized ball of light? How miraculous! She couldn't believe it. That is the power of technology. As Wu Ming spoke, he threw the master ball out. The master ball disintegrated in the air and turned back into the blazing yellow duck. Quack, quack, quack. The blazing yellow duck landed on the ground and quacked. What kind of technology is this? How can it shrink a creature's body? This doesn't conform to the laws of physics. Luo Shudai opened her eyes wide. What do you think of the nano-level combat suit? Wu Ming asked. In the world of pets, the nano-level combat suit could be transformed from a teacup into a suit of armor to protect the beast tamer. But Luo Shudai could accept such a material. After all, the duck was not a living creature. However, Wu Ming's master ball could shrink the blazing yellow duck to the size of a fist. That was incredible. You can change the atomic gap. Wu Ming explained, you should have studied physics and chemistry. You should know that most of the mass of an atom is concentrated in the nucleus, right? However, the size of the whole atom is tens of thousands of times larger than the nucleus. Luo Shudai nodded. I used to be a straight-A student. How could I not know this? The volume of the nucleus is only 1/1,000,000th of the volume of the atom, but more than 96% of the mass of the atom is concentrated there. This is knowledge from a physics textbook. I remember it clearly. So, you are saying that the master ball can be stored inside the blazing yellow duck. At critical moments, the distance between atoms can be changed and the size of the duck can be changed. But how do you deal with the mass? Luo Shudai hurried to ask. A new technology that could change the distance between atoms and the mass was amazing. She was getting more and more curious about the master ball. I'm not telling you. Wu Ming shrugged. Okay, you have seen what the master ball can do. It's time to leave. After all, it's late. I'm going to sleep. Luo Shudai looked at her watch. It was 8 o'clock in the evening. It was still early. Don't sleep. Get up. Luo Shudai shouted. Go to sleep. Wait for your bald head. Wu Ming pushed Luo Shudai's back from the second floor to the first floor, and then pushed her out of the villa. Bah, don't jinx it. You are the bald one. Luo Shudai stomped her feet in anger. She looked back at the closed door and realized something. Bang, bang, bang. She knocked on the door and shouted, Hey, you haven't told me why the master ball can tame ferocious beasts. It's late. Go back and dream. Wu Ming replied and walked up to the roof. Humph, what's so great about it? Luo Shudai stomped her feet and walked toward the villa under the protection of the Emperor Penguin. Chapter 228. On the top floor of the mansion. Wu Ming sat in the basket, thinking about his future plans. Today was the first time he had seen a pet evolution crystal. He also realized that it was time for him to spend some money on this special material. Otherwise, Long DeBeo, Night Witch, and Little Tyrant would never be able to reach Class C. Right, are there any pet evolution crystals in the pet store? Wu Ming suddenly thought of this. He hurried to use the system's search function. After spending 1 evolution point, he successfully found a pet evolution crystal. Name: Pet Evolution Crystal, Treasure Class, Class C. Price: 1,000 evolution points. Remark: Absolutely pure pet evolution crystal, of top quality. Increase the probability of a pet reaching Class C by several times. It's selling for 1,000 evolution points? Wait, top quality, how many times does it increase the probability? Wu Ming felt that 1,000 evolution points wasn't that expensive. As long as the pet could successfully evolve, not to mention 1,000 evolution points, even 2,000 or 3,000 would be worth it. However, Wu Ming didn't buy a pet evolution crystal for the time being. The items in the system store would never be out of stock. Therefore, he would buy them when he needed them. Wu Ming's consciousness exited the pet store. Sitting on the basket, he enjoyed Wan Xiu's massage and fell into a deep sleep. The next day, 10 a.m. There were still 2 days before the third stage of the trainer's competition. Wu Ming wasn't in a hurry. He browsed through the information on the pet store's official website, learning how to heal and communicate with pets that were in a berserk state. First of all, for healing injuries, there are many similar healing foods in the system store. After eating them, the injuries can be healed quickly. However, the effect can only be produced once. If I want to continue healing, I will have to eat new healing food. It was like getting an injection when you were sick. Once you would get an injection, but the next time you were sick, you would have to continue with the injection. Ding. 100 evolution points have been used to purchase a special category of healing food. Ding. 300 evolution points have been used to purchase a special category of calming food. Wu Ming browsed through the information while buying all kinds of food in the pet store. Knock, knock, knock. At this moment, someone knocked on the door. Brother Wu, someone from the Thunder Spirit Corporation is looking for you. Wan Xiu's voice came from outside the door. Thunder Spirit Corporation? Wu Ming was stunned. He had never heard of this conglomerate, mainly because he wasn't familiar with Nanjiang City at all. The only power he knew of in Nanjiang City was the Yin family, one of the 6 great families. Yin Xiaoxiao was the apple of the Yin family's eye. The 6 major families were more powerful than the average tycoons. They all had Class A pets. In the outside world, the 6 major families were the top forces, second only to the superpowers with Class S pet. The Thunder Spirit Corporation is second only to the 6 great families. They have a lot of money, and I heard that they have a close relationship with some assassin guilds. Wan Xiu took the initiative to introduce. Wu Ming didn't understand this information, but as Wu Ming's closest assistant, she would take the initiative to learn and master new knowledge when she had nothing to do. Therefore, Wan Xiu was more familiar with Nanjiang City. She knew about the 6 great families, the 3 shopping malls, and many other groups similar to the Thunder Spirit Corporation. Wu Ming's eyes flickered when he heard that the Thunder Spirit Corporation had a close relationship with the assassin guilds. What is the relationship between the Thunder Spirit Corporation and the Spirit Demon Assassins headquarters? Wu Ming looked at Yi Sanyang and asked. Just a normal business relationship. Yi Sanyang thought about it. The Spirit Demon Assassins headquarters has a pet above Class B. Their foundation is no less than that of a major corporation. If that's the case, then the Spirit Demon Assassination Guild really isn't simple. Wu Ming frowned. He went downstairs and said as he walked, "Okay, let's meet the people from the Thunder Spirit Corporation and find out what they are up to." That was what he said. But Wu Ming had a general idea of what they were here for. They had their eyes on the Master Ball. In the lobby on the first floor, the team members had gone out to play. Su Ying and Gu Xiaoqing weren't there either. It was said that they had gone to the lobby of the Domestication Center not far away to find some violent and injured pets for simulation training. There were 3 people sitting around the round table in the lobby. 2 men and 1 woman. All of them were wearing sunglasses and black windbreakers. There was a black suitcase on the table in front of them. Behind each of them stood a pet. 2 Class D and 1 Class C. His background isn't small, Wu Ming thought. He sized up the Class C pet. It was a blue python with a single horn on its head that was glinting coldly. It was called the Lightning Python. It had 2 Class C talents, namely Frost Strike and Lightning Strike. Its combat ability was horrifying. The other 2 Class D pets were both Class D flying dragons. None of them could defeat Long DeBeo in a one-on-one fight. But that Class C Lightning Python was powerful. Because of its Frost Strike, it could even suppress the Class C Blazing Yellow Duck. "I am Wu Ming. Who are you?" Wu Ming sat down across the table. Little Tyrant and the Blazing Yellow Duck stood on either side of him, like powerful bodyguards. Yi Sanyang stood on the side, ready to take action at any time. Sitting in the middle, the cold-faced middle-aged woman with shoulder-length hair raised her head and looked at Wu Ming. A few seconds later, the cold-faced woman said, "Wu Ming, nice to meet you. I am Xia Xiaoxue, the chief beast tamer of the Thunder Spirit Consortium. These 2 are my assistants. I am here to invite you to join the Thunder Spirit Consortium and become the assistant of our chief beast tamer. Xia Xiaoshue's voice was harsh. She was like a queen who didn't take Wu Ming seriously at all. She is a bit arrogant, Wu Ming said to himself. He used the Master Ball to tame the Class C blazing yellow duck. This was big news. It was impossible that Xia Xiaoxue didn't know about it. However, her tone was still so arrogant. She didn't seem to be sincere at all. It was as if she was giving an order. She was very domineering. I am not interested. Wu Ming shook his head. He didn't want to live under someone else's roof. Moreover, staying in any force might expose the existence of the system. It was very unsafe. You even dare to reject the Thunder Spirit Consortium? Xia Xiaoshue's tone became colder than before. Why can't I reject? Wu Ming raised his eyebrows slightly. Ha. Xia Xiaoxue smiled. She opened the black suitcase in front of her and took out a document. She looked at it and said, Wu Ming, you suddenly appeared in Garan Castle in recent months. After investigation, you don't have any strong backing. You have nothing to do with the rumored Class A Master Wu Tianxuo. As for why you can master the full version of the ancient alchemy method, no one knows. So, you are a lucky guy who picked up a bargain from a laboratory somewhere. That's why you have today's status. Someone like you has the right to reject us. Bang. After speaking, Xia Xiaoxue slammed the document on the table. She crossed her snow-white legs and looked at Wu Ming with a playful expression. The Thunder Spirit Consortium had a lot of information networks. According to the reliable information they had collected recently, she was 99% sure that Wu Ming didn't have any hidden backing other than the Garan Castle Mayor's mansion. Even if such a person had some ability, the Thunder Spirit Consortium could easily crush him. Looking at the document on the table, Wu Ming's expression changed slightly. Chapter 229. Wu Ming had to admit that he was a bit worried. The Thunder Spirit conglomerate had found such detailed information, which put him in a difficult position. He did not know how to deal with it. Without a backer, the Thunder Spirit conglomerate alone was enough to suffocate him. If I have more time, I can get a Class A pet, let alone a Class B one. By then, I won't have to be afraid of the so-called conglomerate. Wu Ming clenched his fist. Yi Sanyang, who was sitting next to him, was also upset when she saw the documents on the table and Xia Xiaoshue's arrogant attitude. Not far away, Wan Xiu was making tea. Hearing the conversation in the hall, her hands trembled and she almost knocked over the teapot. Her fingertips were scalded by the boiling water. But considering the urgency of the situation, she bit her lips and did not cry out. She hurried to wipe the scalded fingertips with ointment. She was getting more and more worried. What's wrong? You don't dare to talk? Xia Xiaoshue's mean red lips curled up. She leaned against the back of the wooden chair comfortably and crossed her arms. Don't think about marrying a rich and beautiful girl with your little skills and reaching the peak of your life. Join the Thunder Spirit conglomerate and work for the big shots in the conglomerate. That is your foreseeable future. Those words were harsh. Wu Ming's frown deepened. He stood up and put his hands on the table. He leaned forward slightly with a cold face. No one can determine my future. Wu Ming's voice was sonorous and deep. He also had a Class A Master Ball. He had won it in the last lucky draw. During the national competition, the team members were protected by the National Competition Committee. The committee was a real giant with Class S beast tamers. The Thunder Spirit conglomerate would not dare to do anything openly during the competition. As long as he could use the Class A Master Ball to capture Class B or Class A beasts without an owner, he would be safe. That was why Wu Ming was so confident. Ha! You are blindly confident. Xia Xiaoxue smiled disdainfully and stood up slowly. She also put her hands on the table and leaned forward, revealing her snow-white breasts. But Wu Ming was not in the mood to appreciate it. He and Xia Xiaoxue looked at each other coldly. What happened? At this moment, a clear and somewhat childish lowly voice came from the entrance of the hall, attracting the attention of everyone present. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice. 6 more people appeared in the hall on the first floor of the villa. There were 2 women in the lead. One of them was wearing a gothic lowly outfit. It was Yin Xiaoxiao. The other woman was wearing a red tight-fitting skirt, and she had a proud figure. She wore a mask and gave off a cold aura. She was Yin Xiaoxiao's aunt, the masked woman who had immense power. Yin Xiaoxiao, old Master Yin's beloved daughter. Xia Xiaoxue's expression changed when she saw Yin Xiaoxiao. In Nanjiang City, the Thunder Spirit Corporation had a lot of power, but it wasn't a top-notch force. Instead, it was firmly suppressed by the 6 great clans. It was because of this that they had immediately sought out Wu Ming and forced him to join the Thunder Spirit Corporation to strengthen their power. Only by continuously absorbing new blood would the corporation be able to become a peak power on par with the 6 great clans. Who are you? Yin Xiaoxiao looked at Xia Xiaoxue and the other 2, feeling unfamiliar with their outfit. The masked woman crossed her arms and sneered. People from the Thunder Spirit Corporation. That's their symbol. She raised her chin and signaled Yin Xiaoxiao to look at Xia Xiaoxue's black suit jacket. On the left side of her chest there was a blue badge. On the surface was a blue lightning beast with lightning. This was the symbol of the Thunder Spirit Corporation. Oh, so it's a corporation. I remember Grandpa said that the 6 great clans can order people from the corporation to do things. Aunt, am I right? Yin Xiaoxiao smiled slyly. She seemed to know nothing, but actually, she knew everything. Before entering the hall, they had already heard the conversation between Wu Ming and Xia Xiaoxue. They also knew the whole story. This little brat. Xia Xiaoxue heard Yin Xiaoxiao's sarcastic words and was very unhappy. However, Yin Xiaoxiao's status was really high, and she couldn't refute. She could only lower her head and didn't reply. Miss Yin, why are you here? Wu Ming had a gentle smile on his face as he asked. He had never thought of relying on the Yin family to go against the Thunder Spirit Corporation, because that was just wishful thinking. He didn't have such power or value to be roped in for the Yin family to go against a corporation. However, Yin Xiaoxiao's arrival did lessen the pressure on him, and it could make the people from the Thunder Spirit Corporation a little more cautious. You did me a huge favor last time. Of course, I have to come and thank you. Yin Xiaoxiao hugged the baby Thunder Beast in her arms and smiled. She was indeed very beautiful with her red lips and white teeth. Wu Ming, our Thunder Spirit Corporation's president, has sent a message. He will give you 15 days to consider. Take care. Because of Yin Xiaoxiao's arrival, Xia Xiaoxue didn't want to continue staying. She left such a threatening sentence and left with her suitcase on the table. Wait. Yin Xiaoxiao suddenly spoke and stopped Xia Xiaoxue. Miss Yin, what's the matter? Xia Xiaoxue was a little anxious. In front of the 6 great clans, the corporation was a generation lower. She didn't have enough confidence, especially when this lowly in front of her was the apple of old Master Yin's eye. Even the president of the Thunder Spirit Corporation had to smile when he saw her. I hate it when people threaten me. I also hate people who threaten others. So, I hope that others won't be threatened as well. Yin Xiaoxiao said with a smile as she rubbed the Thunder Beast's little head. It was as if she was talking about something very ordinary. However, these words were like a mountain that crashed into Xia Xiaoxue's heart. I will remember. Xia Xiaoxue nodded and gave Yin Xiaoxiao a smiley face. Then, she stepped on her stilettos and left in a series of footsteps. Outside the villa, Xia Xiaoxue walked angrily and turned back to look at the villa. She felt that the double doors were like the mouth of a ferocious beast that was about to pounce and bite her. Good one, Yin Xiaoxiao. I will remember you. This was the first time in Xia Xiaoxue's life that someone had threatened her. She immediately took out her phone and dialed a number. Hello, is this the president? Yes, Wu Ming rejected us because he seems to have the Yin family as his backing. He also seems to have a good relationship with Yin Xiaoxiao. Sorry, this is the fault of the intelligence department for not providing more information in time. I will deal with it now. A few minutes later, Xia Xiaoxue hung up the phone. Let's go. Let's go to the intelligence department and recheck this matter. We need to confirm the relationship between Wu Ming and the Yin family. She lifted her long legs and got into the black E-Class nanny van that was parked by the roadside. Then, she left. In the villa, Wu Ming and Yin Xiaoxiao sat down across the coffee table. Wan Xiu made tea and brought it over. After applying the medicine, Wan Xiu asked her pet, Xiao Long, to use the E-Class healing halo. Her burns were healed. Therefore, Wu Ming couldn't tell that she had been injured. Wu Ming, add VX first. Yin Xiaoxiao waved her phone and showed him the QR code. Chapter 230. Yes, sure. Wu Ming didn't turn her down. Yin Xiaoxiao had just helped him. He couldn't say no to her friend request. Soon, they added VX as a friend. How come you have time to come here today? Wu Ming asked curiously. I was passing by. I didn't thank you properly last time, and I haven't added VX as a friend yet. So, I came to see you. I didn't expect to run into such a scene of bullying. Yin Xiaoxiao smiled. Wu Ming found that no matter when, she always had a sunny smile on her face. Even when she was threatening Xia Xiaoxue, she still looked harmless. This made Wu Ming realize that Yin Xiaoxiao was not a kind person. That made sense. She had grown up in the Yin family, one of the 6 major families. No matter how young she was, she couldn't be a blank piece of paper. Wu Ming heard from Wan Xiu that Yin Xiaoxiao was likely to be the next leader of the Yin family. If she didn't know anything, she wouldn't have been chosen as the heir at such a young age. With this in mind, Wu Ming looked out of the window. I'm too weak. That's why I was bullied. If he had an S-rank pet, even the chairman of the Thunder Spirit Consortium would have to kneel down and call him Dad. Strength was always the biggest source of confidence in the world of pet. So, have you ever thought about finding a force to rely on? The masked woman asked. Her voice was as cold as ever. However, his tone was rather calm. The Yin family had been able to reach its current position and consolidate its power over a long period of time because of conciliation and alliances. Even if I can't have you, I will maintain a friendly relationship with you so that we won't be in a deadlock. But the Thunder Spirit Consortium was different. Their way of doing things was to destroy what they couldn't have. After the national competition, I will go back to Garan Castle and live there. Wu Ming shook his head. He had been wondering about one thing ever since he transmigrated to the world of pet. That was, who was the previous owner of the pet store? How did he become the new owner of the pet store out of the blue? That was why he had to stay in Garan Castle until he met the previous owner. In addition, Wu Ming also wanted to investigate the mastermind behind the laboratory in Tianyuan Canyon, Li Daliang. Staying in Garan Castle was closer to the laboratory, and it would be easier for him to investigate the case. If he didn't catch Li Daliang, Wu Ming wouldn't feel at ease. Therefore, Wu Ming decided to continue staying in Garan Castle. Stay in Garan Castle? Yin Xiaoxiao and the masked woman found it hard to understand Wu Ming's decision. Based on the current situation, Garan Castle can definitely be ranked in the top 30 and obtain the quota for the construction of one of the top 100 cities in the future. But even so, it is still far inferior to our Nanjiang city. Why don't you want to stay and develop in Nanjiang city? The masked woman voiced her doubts. Hearing this, Wu Ming leaned against the sofa and thought of an excuse. Because I'd rather be the head of a chicken than the tail of a phoenix. The hall immediately fell into silence. The masked woman understood. Wu Ming continued. With my current strength, I'll definitely be the absolute leader of the city when I return to Garan Castle. Even the castellan will have to bow his head when he sees me. Isn't it good to be my local tyrant in Garan Castle? Hearing this, Yi San-yang and Wan Xiu raised their eyebrows slightly. Yes. Wu Ming now had a C-grade hot yellow duck and stood out in the national competition. He would be very famous in the future. In Garan Castle, he would definitely be the top figure. As his followers, their status would also rise. It was indeed much better than living under someone else's roof in Nanjiang City. All right. Yin Xiaoxiao could see that Wu Ming's attitude was very firm. However, it doesn't matter if you don't stay in Garan Castle. We can still cooperate on projects. Of course, cooperation is not a problem. Wu Ming didn't reject this point. Yin Xiaoxiao helped him. Then, when there was a new evolutionary food to sell in the future, he could certainly sell it to the Yin family at a low price. Then, we won't disturb you anymore. Yin Xiaoxiao stood up, patted her perky butt, and turned to leave. At the door of the villa, she took out her phone and waved it. She smiled at Wu Ming. Keep in touch if there's anything. Okay, take care. Wu Ming nodded and sent Yin Xiaoxiao off. After they left, only Wu Ming, Yi San-yang, and Wan Xiu were left in the huge villa. There was still an hour before noon. Wu Ming ordered a takeout and sat on the sofa. Boss, the Thunder Spirit conglomerate has close ties with many assassin guilds. They usually use the method of destroy if you can't get. We must be more careful, Yi San-yang said in a deep voice. Yes, the Thunder Spirit conglomerate is very abnormal. I'm worried that they have already hired assassins to assassinate you, Brother Wu. Wan Xiu's little face was full of worry. I will pay attention. Wu Ming nodded. His sense of crisis was getting stronger. It seems that I have to take a risk and go to the outside world. I will use the A-rank Master Ball to capture unowned beasts of B-rank and above. Wu Ming secretly made up his mind. During the national competition, the Thunder Spirit conglomerate wouldn't dare to do anything openly. However, there were no restrictions on hiring assassins to kill him. The third stage of the trainer competition will be held the day after tomorrow. This competition is about healing and communicating with injured and berserk pet. Without me, it won't affect much, Wu Ming mumbled. In the Garan Castle trainer team, there was a newly promoted E-rank trainer. When Wu Ming wasn't there, she could take over. See you, I may have to sneak out. Wu Ming turned around and looked at Wan Xiu. So, before you go out, help me buy the following materials. What? Wan Xiu was stunned. Wouldn't it be safer to stay in the Sunset Domestication Center at this time? If he went out, he might be ambushed by assassins. Don't worry about me. Wu Ming patted her shoulder and wrote down the formulas for healing food, calming food, and many other special food on a piece of paper. He told Wan Xiu to take the space-jumping frog and rush to the super-affordable shopping center, not far away. 11:30 in the morning. The takeout had arrived. Hello, sir. Here are your 3 takeout orders. Please give me a 5-star rating. Is that okay? Thank you. The delivery girl put down the takeout orders and smiled at Wu Ming. She was a girl with a proud figure. Her face was not bad. Of course. Wu Ming took the takeout and gave her a rating. Then, he went to the lobby on the first floor. Brother Wu, the materials you asked for are here. At this moment Wan Xiu came back. She patted the space-jumping frog's head, and the space-jumping frog spat out a medicine box. Good. Wu Ming checked the materials in the medicine box. He could make 100 portions of special food, including 5 types of food, 20 portions of each type. It would be enough for him to deal with the third stage of the trainer competition. I hope they don't change the rules halfway, Wu Ming mumbled. After eating the takeout, he started to make the special food. He moved quickly and didn't want to waste any time. Chapter 231. As the name suggested, the healing food was used to heal pets or beasts. It was in the form of powder, and had the same effect when taken orally or applied externally. The calming food could make pets stop going berserk. When pets were injured, they could easily go berserk. In that case, except for the owner, anyone else could become the target of the pet's attack. Apart from those two, there were 3 other special foods that Wu Ming had selected in the pet store. They were used to control and stabilize pets when they went berserk. The mixing process was fast. At 3:00 in the afternoon, Wu Ming handed over 100 boxes with labels to Wan Xiu and said seriously, "Wan Xiu, I will go out for a while." "Xiu, I'm going out for a while. It might be a day, 2 days, or a week. So, when Suing and Gu Shaoqing come back, give them these special foods. Here is an instruction manual. Remember, these special foods can be used to stabilize pets when they go berserk. They can also be used for healing. They are the key to whether or not the Garan Castle team can get a high score in the 3rd stage of the trainers' competition. You can't afford to lose them." Wu Ming took out a piece of paper with a list of precautions and handed it to Wan Xiu. "Brother Wu, are you really going out? It's so dangerous outside. Can you not go?" Wan Xiu was anxious. She clenched the instruction manual in her hand. "I have to go." Wu Ming's attitude was very firm. This matter was related to his safety. He had to go out even if he knew it was dangerous outside. Otherwise, what awaited him was the Thunder Spirit conglomerate's assassination. Since he was so determined, Wan Xiu didn't want to continue persuading him. She opened her coat pocket, took out a silver pendant, and hung it around Wu Ming's neck. "Brother Wu, this is my talisman of possession. I hope you can go out safely." Wan Xiu was smart. She had a feeling that Wu Ming wanted to go out and capture beasts to enhance his strength. As a small assistant, she couldn't help for the time being. She could only cheer for Wu Ming in this way. "I will." Wu Ming nodded and placed his hand on Wan Xiu's soft and fragrant shoulder. "Stay in the Sunset Domestication Center and wait for our return." Wu Ming set off. This time, he only brought Little Tyrant, Yi San Yang, Honeycomb, Space Leapfrog, and Blazing Yellow Duck. Long DeBeo was too big of a target, so he didn't go. Whoosh! A group of people walked through the bustling street. At this moment, a young man with slicked back hair was sitting on a bench by the roadside. He was making a call to VX, and the speaker was on. "Bao, I had an infusion today." "What kind of infusion was it?" "I miss your night." "You're so flirtatious," the girl replied. "Bao, I just went to eat noodles." "What kind of noodles did I eat?" "I suddenly want to see you." "Ha ha!" The girl laughed dryly. Wu Ming listened to the romantic words of this young couple and smiled. He actually felt a little envious. Whoosh! Little Tyrant under him sped up and carried Wu Ming and Yi San Yang away. Blazing Yellow Duck and Space Leapfrog were in charge of bringing up the rear. As for Honeycomb in the air, Yi San Yang held it in her hand because it was in the shape of an umbrella. It was equivalent to holding a black umbrella. Soon, the 2 of them disappeared into Sunset Forest. "Boss, have you chosen your destination?" "Yes, the gloomy forest 3,000 kilometers away." "Is it there?" Yi San Yang's heart skipped a beat. Legend has it that the gloomy forest has a strange purple fog that can make people lose their minds, fall into illusions, and have the tendency to self-harm. "That's why we're going," Wu Ming said. He flipped through some ancient books and roughly knew what the purple fog in the gloomy forest was, so he was very interested. "Why are you guys here?" It's He Wu Ming." At this moment, a patrol team came from afar. In Sunset Forest, there were people patrolling every day. Although Wu Ming and Yi San Yang were wearing dark gold armor and their faces could not be seen, these team members recognized Blazing Yellow Duck. "Oh, we're going to take a look in the forest." Wu Ming smiled. Wu Ming, please don't leave the Sunset Domestication Center," one of the team members said seriously. "Sai, don't worry. This is Wu Ming. It's okay to take a look in Sunset Forest, but don't touch anything. the leader of the patrol team said with a smile. Okay, I'll be careful. Thank you. Wu Ming nodded. Then, he led the team towards the western border of the Sunset Forest. Leader, why did you let him go just like that? The patrol team member asked, puzzled. It's okay. The leader of the patrol team smiled. 10 minutes later, the leader ended his patrol and walked to a place where there was no one and made a call. Hello, is this Miss Xia? I'm the leader of Sunset Forest Patrol Team 7. Wu Ming has just left Sunset Domestication Center and is heading towards the west. Thank you. Xia Xiaoshue's cold voice came from the other end of the phone. Little Tyrant's speed was very fast. Ever since it was promoted to level D, even if it did not have the speed of a level D, its basic speed had increased by a lot and could reach 80 meters per second. At this speed, it would need to run for 10 hours without eating or drinking to reach the Gloom Forest, which was 3,000 kilometers away. Little Tyrant has level F endurance and can run for more than 5 hours at 80% speed. It's 4 in the afternoon now, we'll try to reach the Gloom Forest by tomorrow morning. Wu Ming began to plan. Boss, why don't we sit on Blazing Yellow Duck? Its speed is 200 meters per second, which is 3 times faster than Little Tyrant. It can save us a lot of time. We can't. Wu Ming shook his head. Blazing Yellow Duck is fast, but it lacks endurance. If it runs at a speed of more than 100 meters per second, it will be exhausted in 2 or 3 hours. If it ran at a speed similar to Little Tyrant, the Blazing Yellow Duck could run continuously. Alright, then we'll have to trouble Little Tyrant. Yi San Nyang mumbled. Woof, woof, woof. Little Tyrant barked 3 times and stuck out its tongue. It was very happy, like a child who had been praised. Nanjiang City, an underground hall. Xia Xiaoxue put on a pair of sunglasses and walked into a meeting room with strange red candles. Mission requirements. A man wearing a red mask sat on a chair and spoke in a slightly hoarse voice. Assassinate Wu Ming. The other party has a level C Blazing Yellow Duck and 3 level D pet. They are currently heading towards the west of Sunset Domestication Center. I think they are trying to escape. Xia Xiaoxue put down a document and said, Level C? The reward starts at 50 million. Also, there may be a last-minute increase in price. No problem. Okay then, we'll prepare to send out a pet assassination team right away. Just wait for our good news. Hearing this, Xia Xiaoxue nodded in satisfaction and left with the black suitcase. Chapter 232. In the Sunset Forest. Wu Ming and his team arrived at the edge of the forest without a hitch. They saw a few high-voltage electric fence walls that were about 100 meters tall. They were covered with bite marks. Little Tyrant, let's jump over. Wu Ming ordered. Whoosh. Little Tyrant leaped and brought the 2 of them over the high-voltage electric fence, appearing outside the Sunset Forest. Quack, quack, quack. Hot Yellow Duck leaped and also jumped over the electric fence. As for the dimensional leapfrog, its jumping ability was strong. Of course, it could also easily jump over the fence. Let's continue. Wu Ming did not dare to delay and led the team forward. In the villa area of the Sunset Domestication Center, Lin Yin sent a voice message to Wu Ming, but she didn't get a response. That's strange. Why isn't Wu Ming replying? She tried to make a call, but it showed that Wu Ming was not in the service area. Could it be that he left the Sunset Domestication Center? Lin Yin bit her sexy red lips. She lowered her head and looked at the red V-neck tight-fitting skirt that she had specially changed into today. She felt a little disappointed. Tonight, she wanted to treat Wu Ming to a meal. However, she did not expect that she could not contact Wu Ming. In the villa area of the Garan Castle team, Su Ying, Gu Shaoqing, and the other team members came back one after another. They were all very curious when they did not see Wu Ming. Siyu, where's your boss? Su Ying asked as she drank her soda. Brother Wu has something to do and left. This is what he asked me to leave for you guys. Wan Xiu obediently took out the 100 sets of special food that Wu Ming had left behind. He also said that if he can't make it back in time for the competition the day after tomorrow, Peng Xian should replace him. Ah, me? A young beautiful female trainer with shoulder-length hair and big eyes pointed at herself, her face full of surprise. Her name was Peng Xian. She was the 4th E-grade trainer in the Garan Castle team. Wu Ming thought highly of her. Xiu, what the hell is going on? Su Ying was anxious. If Wu Ming wasn't around, she couldn't guarantee that she would get a high score in the 3rd stage of the competition. This matter is a little complicated. Wan Xiu began to talk tirelessly, from the arrival of the Thunder Spirit conglomerate to the subsequent meeting with Yin Xiaoxiao to the process of Wu Ming's departure. What a tyrannical Thunder Spirit corporation! Corporations are really detestable. However, if I had a choice, I would also want to become a corporation because people from corporations can really be said to be omnipotent. The team members were indignant. They believed that Wu Ming was worried that the Thunder Spirit conglomerate would hire assassins to assassinate him, so he sneaked out to take refuge. Under the night sky, Little Tyrant squatted on the ground, eating normal food to replenish his stamina. The big yellow duck was improving its relationship with the little yellow duck on its back. It would quack from time to time. Gua gua. The space-jumping frog spat out a big bok. Inside was the takeout that Wu Ming had ordered before he left. It was enough for him and Yi San Yang to eat for a week. Come, let's eat. Wu Ming and Yi San Yang began to eat. An hour later, the team continued their journey. In the sky, a C-grade frost-winged dragon with a wingspan of 50 meters was flying at high speed. On its back, there were 3 people and 2 smaller C-grade dire beasts. All of them had a murderous look on their faces, as if they were top-notch killers who had slaughtered countless beasts. Captain, we're very fast, but why can't we find them? Wu Ming went from the opposite side, and most of the area below is dense forest. It's not easy to find them, but if we keep going to the west, we'll definitely meet them. Okay. On the ground, Little Tyrant was running wildly. Wu Ming, who was on its back, suddenly frowned. He had a faint sense of danger. He immediately told Little Tyrant to run a few hundred kilometers to the south, then changed direction and ran toward the gloomy forest in the west. This way, Wu Ming felt more at ease. Roar! Suddenly, a C-grade dire beast jumped out from nearby, waving its sharp claws and trying to grab Wu Ming, who was on the dog's back. Gua gua! The big yellow duck spat out a huge flame python, burning the C-grade dire beast's head into charcoal on the spot. Hee hee, a treasure delivered to my doorstep. Wu Ming quickly transferred a few hundred evolution points from the C-grade dire beast and continued his journey. This was not the first time he met a roadblock on the way. From the moment he set off from the Sunset Forest until now, Wu Ming had earned about 5,000 evolution points just by relying on the beasts on the way. At the current stage, the number of evolution points in his inventory had exceeded 10,000. At this rate, even if I can't tame a B-grade dire beast, I can still earn a lot of evolution points. Wu Ming mumbled to himself. The next morning at 7 o'clock, after more than 10 hours of trekking, Wu Ming and the others finally arrived at the eastern border of the gloomy forest. As far as the eye could see, the forest in front of them had giant trees that were twice as tall as the wilderness outside. Above the sky, there would occasionally be purple mist floating, giving people a strange feeling. Boss, we're here. I know. Wu Ming nodded. The reason why the gloomy forest was so named was because the trees in this forest grew very tall, reaching an average height of 150 meters. From afar, it looked like a forest plateau. Therefore, the lighting in the forest was not good, making it look gloomy. This was how the gloomy forest got its name. After entering the forest, the surroundings were quiet. Tsk. 400 meters into the forest, there was a strange sound. Wu Ming took a closer look and found that there was a group of centipede-like black beasts with a metallic luster surrounding them. Each of them was 10 meters long, and their waists were thicker than a bucket. Their mouthparts had blades and were very sharp, flashing with a greenish-purple glow. It's a group of F-grade blade centipedes. Their mouthparts have paralyzing toxins. Wu Ming took the initiative to introduce. Hearing the words, paralyzing toxins, Yi San-yang remembered the night she and Wu Ming had an all-night battle. Her face turned red. Whoosh! She killed her way out, waving the purple-black claws that popped out from her fingertip. In a few moves, she killed all the F-grade blade centipedes in a minute. Wu Ming walked over with a smile and converted a few hundred evolution points. Let's go deeper. Only by entering the center of the gloomy forest would they have the chance to encounter C-grade dire beast. This time, Wu Ming's target was at least a B-grade dire beast. This team had the blazing yellow duck, which was a C-grade pet, as well as 2 D-grade pets. Their combat strength was very strong. 3 hours later, Wu Ming's team had gone more than 100 kilometers into the forest. They had just encountered a D-grade dire beast, the forest anaconda, which was out hunting for food. As the blazing yellow duck burned the dire beast to death, Wu Ming hurried to convert the special energy in the forest anaconda. Ding! Obtained 2,342 evolution points. The system beeped. Hearing this, Wu Ming was delighted. Whoosh! However, right then, a strong wind blew in the forest. A purple mist quickly enveloped them and swallowed them up. This is the hallucinatory purple mist. Wu Ming used his eye of insight to read the information of this purple mist. His pupils contracted. Chapter 233. What is the hallucinatory purple mist? Yi San-yang could tell the seriousness in Wu Ming's words, so she asked. This is the secretion of the violet mist butterfly. The violet mist butterfly is a mutated purple butterfly. It likes to appear in pairs. The secretion it produces will blend into the air and become the hallucinatory purple mist. Wu Ming explained at once. That was the information he had read using the eye of insight. So, this is the purple mist mentioned in the introduction. Yi San-yang understood. When she read the introduction of the dark forest, she only knew that there was a strange purple mist that could cause hallucinations and self-harm. At first, Yi San-yang thought that it was some kind of beast. However, the purple mist was just the secretion of the violet mist butterfly. What kind of beast is the violet mist butterfly? Yi San-yang activated a Class D super shield to protect herself and Wu Ming. Little Tyrant activated a shield as well. The blazing yellow duck was a Class C beast with thick skin. Even without a shield, it would be hard to hurt it. Besides, the blazing yellow duck had a Class C fire shield, which provided a strong defense. The other pets did not have a shield. Therefore, they stayed close to Little Tyrant and the blazing yellow duck to seek shelter. Unlike the blade venomous butterfly we met last time, the violet mist butterfly's wings are not sharp, but it can secrete a hallucinatory purple mist around itself as a form of defense. The violet mist butterflies usually appear in pairs. Therefore, we must be surrounded by a pair of violet mist butterflies. You must be careful of their stingers. Once you are stung by the stingers and secreted by the secretion, you will experience severe hallucinations and have a strong tendency to self-harm. You will even die on the spot. Wu Ming's tone became more serious. Yi San-yang also realized the seriousness of the matter. Whoosh! The purple mist was still tumbling. It was like a ferocious beast had surrounded Wu Ming and the others. Whoosh! A puff of purple mist suddenly turned into the shape of a python. It opened its mouth and bit at Wu Ming. Whoosh! Yi San-yang waved her sharp claws and cut open the python. Hiss! From the depths of the purple mist came a strange cry. It sounded like a venomous snake spitting out its tongue, making one's hair stand on end. It's the cry of the violet mist butterfly. Wu Ming whispered. Whoosh! Another purple mist turned into a giant python and pounced at Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang. This was the purple mist butterfly's innate skill, purple mist domain. It was an innate skill that every purple mist butterfly had. Its function was to control the purple mist within its range. It could form a storm, and it could also attack in any form. Yi Sanyang attacked again, and slashed the purple mist python apart. Based on their attack power, they should be a pair of E-class violet mist butterflies, but their deterrence is very strong, comparable to a D-class dire beast. Wu Ming muttered. He began to look forward to it. Even if he could only catch a pair of B-rank violet mist butterflies, that would give him a powerful life-saving measure. He would be able to fight against A-rank pet. This was a chance to turn things around. However, violet mist butterflies usually appeared in pairs. He only had one A-rank master ball. It was impossible for him to catch two violet mist butterflies at the same time. Right, I have more than 10,000 evolution points. At a critical moment, I can destroy a B-rank master ball in 1 second. Wu Ming's eyes glowed. Clank, clank. Right then, the purple mist turned into countless spikes, piercing toward Wu Ming and the others like a rainstorm. Fortunately, the super shield was there to stop the spike. Once the spikes hit the body, the hallucinogenic purple mist would seep into the nerves until it reached the brain. By then, any living creature would have hallucinations and would begin to harm themselves until they died a painful death. Under normal circumstances, breathing in the hallucinogenic purple mist would have the same effect. It was just that the effect was much weaker. Boss, do you know where the violet mist butterflies are? Yi Sanyang looked at the hazy purple mist around them. She could not find the violet mist butterflies. Normally, the violet mist butterflies would hide in the deepest part of the hallucinogenic purple mist. However, the hallucinogenic purple mist would not move. It would not be easy to find them. Little tyrant, fire. Wu Ming thought of a solution. Woof, woof, woof. Little tyrant immediately opened its mouth and spat out a blazing flame, burning everything around it. Bang! The blazing yellow duck shot out a flame cannon and burned away a large portion of the hallucinogenic purple mist, causing the mist to disperse and fly into the depths of the forest. Found it. It's over there. Wu Ming pointed at the hallucinogenic purple mist that had shrunk to a diameter of 10 meters. Two beautiful figures could be vaguely seen within it. They flapped their wings and led the hallucinogenic purple mist to escape. It was obvious that they were scared. So, little tyrant jumped and charged into the hallucinogenic purple mist. Its 3 dog heads pounced at the same time, each biting a violet mist butterfly. It landed on the ground and nimbly turned around, returning to Wu Ming's side. Pa pa pa. The 2 grady violet mist butterflies were not very big. Their wingspans were only half a meter. They flapped their wings but could not escape. A large amount of purple powder was emitted from their glowing purple wings, causing the hallucinogenic purple mist nearby to thicken. These are the violet mist butterflies? Yi Sanyang looked at them curiously. Wu Ming was also observing the real violet mist butterflies. These butterflies looked similar to normal butterflies. The main thing was that they were purple all over. The surface of their bodies emitted a fluorescent glow. Their 2 front claws had sharp spikes that could pierce the hallucinogenic purple mist into their prey's body. Boss, can we tame them? Yi Sanyang asked. Should be able to. Wu Ming nodded and took out the 9 taming tools that he made before he left and began taming them. These 2 violet mist butterflies were a pair, 1 male and 1 female. They were both grade E and were not difficult to tame. Half an hour later, the 2 violet mist butterflies were lying on the ground, showing their submission. Even the hallucinogenic purple mist around them was absorbed by their wings, causing the fluorescent glow on their bodies to become brighter. It can even take back the hallucinogenic purple mist? Yi Sanyang was surprised. Yes, this is their special talent. Right, these 2 violet mist butterflies have shown their submission. How about you become their master? Yi Sanyang only had one knight and it was a parasitic pet. Apart from that, she had no other pets. Wu Ming believed that she could have more pets. Give them to me? Yi Sanyang felt as if she had just received a gift from heaven. This pair of violet mist butterflies was only grade E. However, when they worked together, they could fight against grade D pet. If it weren't for the fact that little Tyrant had flames that could subdue the hallucinogenic purple mist and the help of the blazing yellow duck, some other grade D pets might not have been able to catch the violet mist butterflies. Yi Sanyang was very happy that Wu Ming had given the violet mist butterflies to her just like that. Hurry up and sign the contract. We are in a hurry. Okay. Thank you, boss. Yi Sanyang cut her fingertip and pressed her bloody fingerprints on the foreheads of the two violet mist butterflies. Chapter 234. The process of signing the pet contract went smoothly. 3 minutes later, they continued on their way. On each of Yi Sanyang's shoulders stood an E-level violet mist butterfly. Their wingspans were only half a meter. When they closed their wings, they were only over 20 centimeters tall. They didn't look that big. Since they had absorbed all the hallucinatory purple mist, the wings of the two E-level violet mist butterflies were emitting a dazzling purple glow. Wu Ming couldn't help but look at the information of the violet mist butterflies. Name: Violet mist butterfly. Rank: E. Talents: E-level hallucinatory purple mist, E-level purple mist field, E-level twin spikes, F-level speed, F-level defense, F-level smell, F-level wind control, F-level light bomb. 3 E-level talent. The violet mist butterfly was an elite E-level 1. Your violet mist butterflies already have 3 E-level talent. When you go back, feed them 2 E-level evolutionary foods and 1 D-level evolutionary food. Then, they will reach the D-level. Wu Ming continued, but there is something interesting about the violet mist butterflies. What is it? Yi Sanyang was curious. When the violet mist butterfly reaches the D-level, its E-level talent, purple mist field, will automatically be upgraded to the D-level. The hallucinatory purple mist and twin spikes will also be upgraded to the D-level. Wu Ming explained. Yi Sanyang opened her eyes wide. Then, the violet mist butterfly will lose 3 E-level talents, right? Yes. So, when it reaches the D-level, you will have to give it 3 E-level talent. When the violet mist butterfly reaches the C-level, its 3 original talents will also become C-level. By then, you will have to give it 3 D-level talents, and so on. Wu Ming explained. What a miraculous phenomenon. Yi Sanyang nodded. But, do they have a limit to their potential? I don't know. Wu Ming shook his head. Not even the Eye of Insight could tell the potential level of the violet mist butterfly. Therefore, Wu Ming believed that the violet mist butterfly either had no potential or endless potential. This was the first time he had seen a pet that could enhance its original talent. He didn't know much about it. He could only make guesses. The group continued to venture deeper. For the next half of the day, the team overcame all difficulties and eliminated dozens of ferocious beasts of various rank. Finally, they arrived at the core area of the ghastly forest. This was a secluded area. In order to enter the core area, one had to cross a dam that was 100 meters tall and enter a small basin that was 100 kilometers in diameter. This place was known as the inner circle of the gloomy forest. On the way, Wu Ming tearfully earned a few thousand evolution points. At this stage, his evolution points storage had already exceeded 20,000, enough to prepare a large amount of evolution rations. Boss, we've arrived at the inner circle. Yi Sanyang and Wu Ming climbed up the dam. She pointed at the inner ring area with a diameter of 100 kilometers. On the outer ring, the beasts we encounter are at most Class D, but in the inner ring area, Class C beasts will appear. We must be careful. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Wu Ming nodded. Screech. Right then, there was a sharp and ear-piercing cry in the sky, which caught the attention of Wu Ming and Yi San-yang. Even though they were standing on the dam, there were many plants that could cover the figures of Wu Ming and the others perfectly. Therefore, they couldn't see the scene in the sky. Buzzing, 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 Wu Ming released more than a dozen worker bees and they went to the bushes. Through their vision, he saw the scene in the sky. It was an ice Quetzalcoatlus with a wingspan of about 50 meters. It flew in the sky coldly and proudly. As it flapped its wings, it could bring about cold frost, causing the surrounding temperature to drop sharply and causing a snowstorm. Class C Ice Quetzalcoatlus, this is a pet. The target of the contract is the Assassin Guild of Nanjiang City. Wu Ming read the information of the other party and somehow felt a trace of danger. Is it here to assassinate me? He thought. Boss, what did you find? Yi San-yang frowned slightly. She could feel that Wu Ming's mood had changed. A Class C Ice Quetzalcoatlus from an assassin guild of Nanjiang City named Red Face. The other party is flying and hovering around here, showing no signs of leaving for the time being, Wu Ming said. Then what should we do? Yi San-yang asked. Don't act rashly and alert them for the time being. Wu Ming waved his hand. In the worst-case scenario, they are probably sent by the Thunder Spirit conglomerate to kill us. Even if they aren't, it's better not to get in touch with people from an assassin guild. That was just the worst-case scenario. But no matter what the real situation was, there was nothing wrong with being cautious. Okay. Yi San-yang nodded. The other pets kept quiet as well. They didn't make any noise in case they were discovered by the Ice Quetzalcoatlus in the sky. At the moment, on the back of the Class C Ice Quetzalcoatlus, the 3 Class C assassins were discussing. Boss, the inner circle of the dark forest is down there. I heard that there are many treasures down there. It's rare that we're passing by. Should we go down and make some extra money? I heard that there are ferocious beasts above Class C in the inner circle of the dark forest. Won't we be in danger if we go down there? What are you afraid of? We have 3 Class C pets. As long as we don't seek death and pick on the weaker ones, we will be fine. What about the mission? Hey! The reward is only 50 million and we haven't seen them after chasing them for so long. Why don't we make some extra money first? Maybe the extra money this time will be more than the reward. That's true. The 3 assassins made up their minds. Whoosh! The Class C Ice Quetzalcoatlus landed on the embankment at the edge of the inner circle, overlooking the inner circle with a diameter of 100 kilometers. After landing on the embankment, one of the Class C assassins sat on the back of his Class C battlecock and asked, Boss, the Ice Quetzalcoatlus is too big of a target to enter the inner circle. What should we do? Yes, what should we do? The other assassin riding a Class C 4-legged snake asked. The boss with the Class C Ice Quetzalcoatlus crossed his arms and said solemnly, I will wait on the embankment. You 2 go into the inner circle and act together. If you encounter any danger, retreat immediately. Okay. The 2 Class C assassins entered the inner circle of the dark forest right away. A few hundred meters away, Wu Ming and the others were so nervous that their palms were sweating. That was right. The 3 assassins from the Red Mask's Assassin Guild happened to be less than 500 meters away from Wu Ming and the others when they landed on the embankment. At first, Wu Ming thought that the 3 assassins had discovered him. When the 3 assassins landed on the embankment, Wu Ming was sure that the 3 assassins hadn't discovered him. They were here for other purposes. Boss, do you need me to go and investigate? No, I will send the worker bees. Wu Ming felt lucky that he had brought the beehive in the air. With the worker bees, it would be very safe. Buzzing, 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 dozens of worker bees spread out and became Wu Ming's eyes and ears, keeping an eye out for possible dangers. Some of the worker bees were trying to outflank the Ice Quetzalcoatlus. 1 minute later, the worker bees landed on the tree trunk and provided Wu Ming with a view. He only saw one assassin sitting on the ground and the ice Quetzalcoatlus lying nearby, seemingly resting. As for the other two assassins, they were nowhere to be seen. Chapter 235. That's strange. Where are they? Wu Ming began to feel nervous. Are they coming here to outflank me? When the C-grade ice Quetzalcoatlus landed on the dam, he clearly saw that there were 3 people and 3 C-grade pets in the team. But now 2 of them were gone. Roar! Not long after, from the inner circle of the dark forest, a kilometer away, came the wailing of a beast. Haha, brother, we killed a D-grade ferocious beast, V-shaped bear. Conservatively speaking, we can sell it for a lot of money. One of the assassins' excited voice came from the walkie-talkie next to the boss. Oh? D-grade ferocious beast? Not bad, not bad. Another business worth millions. Very good. Let's try to kill a few more. That's enough. The boss laughed. In the wild, only the weak would be cautious. High-level beast tamers like the boss, who had the protection of a C-grade ice Quetzalcoatlus, were fearless. Wu Ming also heard the sound through the communication of the worker bees. So, they were hunting ferocious beasts. No wonder they suddenly disappeared. Wu Ming breathed a sigh of relief. He immediately reported the situation to Yi San Yang. Knowing that one of the assassins stayed at the dam and the other 2 went into the inner circle of the dark forest to hunt ferocious beasts, she thought about it and said, "Something's wrong." Under normal circumstances, assassins would not take the initiative to go out and hunt ferocious beasts. Wu Ming was surprised. Why? Yi San Yang explained. I'm an assassin. I know this better. Under normal circumstances, assassins have missions. When they don't have missions, they will stay at the base camp and not go out casually to avoid exposing their whereabouts. So, I speculate that they are on a mission to hunt ferocious beasts and make some extra money. Is that so? Wu Ming was lost in thought. It seemed that the purpose of this group of people was really to assassinate him. The reason why they hunted ferocious beasts was to make some extra money. But why is it so coincidental? Wu Ming frowned slightly. Why did these 3 assassins not go to other forbidden areas of the same type, but come to the dark forest? Could it be that his whereabouts were exposed? Wu Ming came to a sudden realization as he recalled the patrol team he encountered when he entered the setting sun forest. No wonder that patrol captain was so easy to talk to. I reckon that this guy was most likely bought over by the Thunder Spirit Consortium. Wu Ming thought of this. Although it was just a guess, he was 60% sure. Captain of the patrol team, right? If the evidence is conclusive, then don't blame me for being impolite. Wu Ming's face was gloomy. At this time, the screams of dire beasts could be heard from the inner circle of the gloomy forest. It was obvious that another dire beast had been killed. 500 meters away. The voice of the killer riding the C-class fighting cock rang out from the walkie-talkie beside the killer boss. Boss, we've hunted another D-class dire beast, a gibbon. The assassin riding the C-grade 4-legged snake also said, the extra money we earned this time is at least 7 digits. Hee, we can earn a lot of money every time we go on a mission. It's really great. It's a good thing to earn money. The killer boss crossed his arms and smiled coldly. Right, when are we going to stop? We still have a mission to finish. I don't know where that punk is. Hey, he's just a young boy who tamed a C-class dire beast. He's not worth mentioning. The 3 of us can work together and kill his pet easily. The assassin riding the fighting rooster said, his tone full of disdain. I know. But we have to find them first. According to the information we have, that punk is heading west from the ground. Given his pet's speed, he should be in the gloomy forest at this time. The killer boss said. Behind the curtain, Wu Ming heard the conversation of the 3 assassins through the transmission of the worker bee, and his heart was shocked. A C-class dire beast that had just been tamed? A young boy? Starting from the ground and heading west? His name didn't appear in the conversation. However, all these factors matched up with Wu Ming. *T, they are really here to kill me. Wu Ming gnashed his teeth. He felt cold all over. Only the blazing yellow duck was at the C-class. If it were a one-on-one fight, he wouldn't be afraid of the ice-winged dragon. But the problem was there were 3 C-class dire beasts. If a fight broke out, the blazing yellow duck would be slaughtered. No, I have to think of a way. Wu Ming was getting more and more anxious. He extended his hand and covered the blazing yellow duck with a layer of dark golden armor to enhance its defense. The dark golden armor could ensure that the blazing yellow duck would not be hurt by sharp thorns, poisonous stingers, or blades. However, if the creature inside the armor was hit by a powerful impact, its internal organs would still be damaged. But to injure a C-class dire beast, it would have to be at least a B-class explosion. Therefore, with the dark golden armor, the blazing yellow duck could at least stay alive, even if it couldn't defeat the 3 C-class dire beasts. Killers are here. It's impossible for me to capture a dire beast from the inner circle of the gloomy forest quietly. If I want to live, there are only 2 ways. First, I have to hide and wait for them to leave. Second, I can sneak up and kill the leader of the killers as fast as lightning. In this way, his pet will be ownerless. I can use the C-class Master Ball to subdue it. By then, 2 against 2, I will have a good chance of winning. But the ghost cat is not here. How can I assassinate? Wu Ming was stuck in a dilemma. The ghost cat was left in the villa to protect Wan Xiu. Therefore, the ghost cat didn't come with them when they left. Should I ask Sanyang to go? Wu Ming mumbled. Yi Sanyang was a killer to begin with. Now, she had the help of a pair of E-class violet mist butterflies. Once the leader of the killers was swallowed up by the hallucinatory purple mist, it would be much easier to kill him. Sanyang, I have a plan. Wu Ming told her his plan at once. Yi Sanyang nodded with a serious face. With the help of the violet mist butterflies, I think it's possible to kill an assassin. She was a cold-blooded killer. She was fearless in the face of assassination. By then, you and I will hide in the hallucinatory purple mist and carry out a sneak attack. At the critical moment, the big yellow duck can block the ice-winged dragon and create an opportunity for you to assassinate him. Wu Ming began his counterattack. He and Yi Sanyang sat where they were and discussed for a long time. Finally, they came up with a well-thought-out assassination plan. By then, more than half an hour had passed. The other 2 C-class killers had arrived at an area only 30 kilometers away from the center of the inner circle. One of them sat on the back of a combat chicken and the other on the back of a 4-legged snake. Using the cover of the jungle, they stared at a pool dozens of meters away. There was a rock covered with moss. On it, a C-class caiman covered in thick leather armor was lying on its stomach. Roar! The C-class caiman suddenly raised its head and roared at the sky. Then, it continued to lie on the rock, warming its body with the sunlight that hit the ground from the gaps between the trees. At the same time, Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang had quietly sneaked toward the leader of the killers. Chapter 236. On the embankment, there were weeds and trees everywhere. Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang tried their best not to make any noise as they walked. The pets around them were also walking with caution. Whoosh! The 2 violet mist butterflies had begun to flap their wings. A faint purple mist covered an area with a radius of dozens of meters, making it difficult for people to see clearly. Sanyang, let the violet mist butterflies spread from the front and interfere with the vision. Then, Little Tyrant will use a super beam to break the walkie-talkie and cut off the connection between the killers. Then, we will help you kill the boss. Big Yellow Duck, you will be the main tank. If the ice-winged dragon attacks, you will be in charge of blocking it. I know you can't beat it, but you can at least fight it and create an opportunity for us. Space Leapfrog, you just need to stay by my side. Wu Ming continued to arrange the battle strategy. He had considered all possible factors, and it could be considered a relatively meticulous counterattack. Ding. 1,500 evolution points have been deducted. You have purchased a Class C Master Ball. I wish you a happy life. Wu Ming purchased a Class C Master Ball from the store. For the current him, 1,500 evolution points weren't a lot. At this critical moment, he didn't mind using them. As soon as the boss died, he would use the Master Ball. On the embankment, the boss crossed his arms and listened to the voice from the walkie-talkie. Big brother, we are going to assassinate a Class C Cayman. I heard that some rich ladies are crazy. They like bags made of crocodile skin. So, how much do you think this Class C Cayman can be sold for? Use it to make a bag? That's too wasteful. It should be used to make special combat suits, such as the ones we are wearing. They are all Class C and can strengthen self-protection. The boss suddenly sneered. Haha, Big Brother is right. Big Brother, we are going to start the assassination. Let's talk later. If there is any danger, I will report to you immediately. Behind the scenes, Wu Ming heard this and his mouth twitched. He had overlooked one thing. That was the armor on the killer's body. Be careful. The combat suit that the boss is wearing is made of Class C beast skin. It has reached Class C defense. Sanyang, your claws can't break it. Wu Ming immediately reported the situation. Boss, what should I do? Yi Sanyang hesitated. Being cut doesn't mean being hit. Take bulletproof vests for example. Ordinary bullets can't penetrate them, but they can still injure people. So, change the assassination plan and use heavy blows. Wu Ming had a new idea. Then we can only let Little Tyrant do it. Its strength is more than 10 tons. With a speed close to 100 meters, it's enough to kill the assassin boss in the combat suit. Yi Sanyang whispered. Roar. Little Tyrant growled to show that he understood. In the jungle, Wu Ming's group was still hiding. They were waiting for an opportunity to assassinate him. Dozens of kilometers away, in the depths of the inner ring, the two C-Class assassins finally made their way out. The C-Class battle chicken's sharp beak carried a huge force as it crashed into the left eye of the C-Class Cayman, blinding it on the spot. Roar! The C-grade Cayman crocodile roared and swept its tail wildly. For a moment, the sound of collisions could be heard. At this moment, the C-Class four-legged snake rushed over and pinned the Cayman to the ground, giving the battle chicken a chance to attack. They've started. This is our chance. Wu Ming heard the sounds of battle from the inner circle through the walkie-talkie and knew that his only chance had come. Whoosh! On the dam, there was a sudden gust of wind. Then, a purple mist quickly engulfed the assassin boss and the ice Quetzalcoatlus. It's the purple mist from the dark forest. The assassin boss was alarmed and stood up. At the same time, the C-Class ice Quetzalcoatlus extended its wings and was about to protect the assassin boss under its wings. Whoosh! A hot beam of light came from afar and accurately hit the walkie-talkie placed next to the assassin boss. On the other side, the two C-Class assassins were still engaged in a fierce battle. Therefore, they didn't hear the sound of the walkie-talkie exploding. It knows how to attack the walkie-talkie. This isn't a beast's intelligence. Someone is behind this? The assassin boss was experienced. Based on one detail, he could tell that a team of pets wanted to kill him. Was it a competitor from a rival assassin guild? The assassin boss pulled a long face. Quack, quack, quack. Right then, a series of duck calls were heard. Immediately after, a flame python that was dozens of meters long emerged from the bushes and coiled around the neck of the ice Quetzalcoatlus. With a loud bang, the ice Quetzalcoatlus fell onto the dam. This is a flame python. It looks like the blazing yellow duck's talent. Could it be Wu Ming? The assassin boss opened his eyes wide. While the ice Quetzalcoatlus was being pulled down by the blazing yellow duck's C-Class flame python, Wu Ming, Yi Sanyang, and Little Tyrant came out of the bushes at the same time. Looking at the little tyrant next to Wu Ming, the assassin boss narrowed his eyes and said in disbelief, "Wu Ming, it's really you. You know me?" "I'm right. You're here to kill me. If that's the case, let's do it." Hearing this, Wu Ming instantly knew that the assassin boss's target was him. The last bit of concern in his heart disappeared. Whoosh! The little tyrant rushed over at a speed of nearly 100 meters per second. Its head, which was several times harder than super alloy steel, smashed into the body of the boss killer with all its might, sending him flying hundreds of meters away before crashing heavily into a rock on the ground. Crack! The rock was smashed into pieces. Although the C-Class combat uniform on the surface was not damaged, the assassin boss's spine was broken. His organs were all crushed and he was on his last breath. I was killed by the target. Am I the assassin or is he the assassin?" The assassin boss's eyes were about to pop out. He stared at the sky and breathed his last breath with great reluctance. He was completely dead. Roar, sensing its master's death, the ice Quetzalcoatlus that fell to the ground let out a sorrowful cry. It had only been 10 seconds since it fell to the ground. However, its master had died just like that. Roar, roar, roar. The C-Class ice Quetzalcoatlus that was overwhelmed with grief had 2 streams of blood and tears. It let out an angry roar and struggled to break free from the blazing yellow duck's flame python. "Go, Master Ball!" Wu Ming's calm voice suddenly sounded. He had no pity or sympathy for the assassin boss's death. To be merciful to the enemy is to be cruel to oneself. When he heard the ice Quetzalcoatlus' sorrowful roar, Wu Ming knew that the assassin boss was about to die. He decisively took out the C-Class Master Ball, activated it with his voice and threw it with all his might. Boom! The C-Class Master Ball turned into an arrow of light and entered the ice Quetzalcoatlus's mouth. It quickly merged into its body and caused its body to twitch. It fainted on the ground and kicked up a cloud of dust. Taming C-Class Ice Quetzalcoatlus. Current progress: 10%, 50%, 100%. The whole process was relatively slow. It took a total of 10 seconds. The moment the taming was completed, the C-Class Ice Quetzalcoatlus slowly opened its blank eyes. A brand new dragon life had begun. Chapter 237. Finally, it's done. Wu Ming breathed a sigh of relief. The taming process went smoothly, which surprised him. After all, at first, he didn't think it would be possible to tame a pet that once had an owner. But now, it turned out that as long as the original owner died, the Master Ball could be tamed successfully. Roar, roar! The C-grade Frost Quetzalcoatlus supported its body with its wings and stood up. It was 20 meters tall and had a wingspan of 50 meters. It tilted its head and looked at Wu Ming like a curious baby, feeling that this man was familiar. The next moment, strange memories entered its mind. It completely forgot the past and only Wu Ming, its new master, remained in its eyes. Roar, roar! It made a cheerful sound. "Boss, did you really tame it?" Yi San Yang was still in shock. It had only been a few minutes since the assassination, but Wu Ming had already tamed the C-Class Ice Quetzalcoatlus, turning the tables from a disadvantage to an advantage. Of course, it was successful. Wu Ming nodded. He looked at the inner circle of the dark forest. The other 2 assassins were still working together to kill the C-Class Cayman. They didn't know that their boss had died. "Next, it's time for our hunt," Wu Ming said in a low voice. He found the body of their boss as fast as he could, took off his C-Class combat suit, and burned the body with fire. What a tough combat suit! It didn't suffer any damage after such a heavy impact. It's really impressive. I can sell it at a good price in the second-hand market. Wu Ming mumbled. It was a C-Class combat suit after all. It could still be used after washing. However, he had the dark gold armor and this combat suit wasn't good enough for him. Therefore, he planned to clean it up and sell it. This combat suit would cost at least a few million yuan. After packing up, Wu Ming and the others went deep into the inner circle of the dark forest under the cover of the towering ancient trees and the hallucinogenic purple fog. Dozens of kilometers away, the two C-class assassins were still commanding the battle rooster and the four-legged snake to attack the C-class caiman. They had successfully pecked the other eye of the caiman. Roar! The caiman crocodile had gone completely crazy. Even though the pet couldn't see anything, its nose was sharp enough to detect the presence of two C-rank assassins. While facing the attacks of the two C-rank pets, the pet dashed toward the two assassins. Quick, stop it! The two killers immediately circled around in the forest. The C-grade four-legged snake was not fast, but it had great strength. It hugged the caiman's tail and held it in place. Meanwhile, the C-grade combat chicken kept pecking at the caiman's weak spots, such as the tip of its nose, eyes, and other vital parts. Over time, the caiman crocodile's vitality gradually dissipated. Roar! The caiman refused to admit defeat. It used its powerful mouth to bite the four-legged snake. With a death roll, it tore off a large piece of meat from its body. But just as it was rolling, the fighting chicken took advantage of the gap. Its sharp beak pierced into the caiman's mouth, penetrated its throat, and continued to go deeper. Gotcha! In the end, the battle chicken pecked through the head of the caiman crocodile. The latter wailed and died on the spot. The 5-meter-long beast fell to the ground. It opened its mouth and blood flowed out. It died a horrible death. OSH*T. Finally, it's over. Brother 3, are you okay? I'm fine. The four-legged snake just lost a large piece of meat. I should be able to recover after I go back and eat. The two killers finally had the courage to approach the C-grade caiman. They looked at the thick leather armor on the caiman and laughed. The armor is still intact. It can be sold for at least 10 million. Ha ha, we've made a fortune. Hurry up and contact our boss. Tell him the good news. The two killers took out their walkie-talkies, but no matter how hard they called, their boss did not respond. Could it be that something happened? One of the killers put on a grave expression. Let's go back first. The two killers could not afford to be careless. They took their trophies, sat on the backs of their pets, and hurried to the dam dozens of kilometers away. The trees in the dark forest were too tall. The average height of the trees here was 150 meters. It was hard for humans and pets of small or medium sizes to be discovered when walking inside. The two killers dragged their prey back. They were fast and at the same time vigilant. Whoosh! All of a sudden, they heard the sound of wind blowing. The two of them immediately became alert and looked to the side. There, a purple mist was slowly surging towards them. It's the purple mist unique to the dark forest. The two killers could not afford to be careless. No one knew what was hiding in the purple mist. Therefore, neither of them dared to underestimate it. Roar! Right then, they heard a familiar sound in the mist. I think that's the ice pterosaur. The two killers found it strange. Why would the ice pterosaur be in the purple mist? Was their boss and the ice pterosaur trapped in the purple mist? The next second, the ice pterosaur walked out from the purple mist. It folded its wings and walked on two legs. The 20-meter-tall ice pterosaur looked like a huge statue, which was quite a visual impact. Where is our boss? The two killers were relieved to see that the ice pterosaur was fine. Whoosh! All of a sudden, the ice pterosaur breathed out two streams of cold air that froze the two killers and their pets into ice sculptures. For a moment they could not move. That was the ice pterosaur's talent. Class C heavenly frost. Not even a Class C beast could break free in a short time after being frozen. The two killers were wearing Class C combat suits that could withstand the cold to a certain extent. Even so, they still felt cold and their blood flow was slowing down. Boom! From the dense forest, a three-headed hound covered in flames dashed over and knocked away the two killers. Bang! Bang! The two killers smashed into a tree trunk with a diameter of more than 2 meters. Their bodies sank into the hard trunk and they died on the spot. Crack! At this moment, the four-legged snake and the battle rooster used their own energy to disperse the freezing effect of the Class C heavenly frost. They regained their ability to move. However, a fire boa dashed out from the mist and entangled the four-legged snake. The fire boa lifted the four-legged snake and then slammed it to the ground with all its strength. The four-legged snake almost passed out. The ice pterosaur's sharp claws landed on the battle rooster's head. The battle rooster's head sank into the ground. Whoosh whoosh. The ice pterosaur continued to breathe out cold air and froze the two Class C pets. The ice pterosaur attacked the two pets while they were still under control. In less than 3 minutes, the four-legged snake and the battle rooster died on the spot. Done. Wu Ming heaved a sigh of relief. The four-legged snake and the battle rooster were just average Class C pets with low potential and weak combat abilities. He didn't want to waste 2 Class C Master Orbs to tame them. He could turn them into evolution points after they were killed. That would be more profitable. You guys stay here. I have something to do, Wu Ming said and walked toward the corpses of the four-legged snake, the battle rooster, and the caiman alligator. Chapter 238. The four-legged snake and the fighting chicken were dragging a dozen corpses of ferocious beasts. Among them, there was a Class C caiman. The rest were Class E and Class D, which were priceless. Wu Ming extended his hand and touched an E-class vicious beast, the tailless marten, converting the special energy inside it into evolution points. Ding! 240 evolution points have been obtained. Soon, he received a system notification. Wu Ming did not hesitate and continued. This was the inner circle of the dark forest, not a tourist resort. It was very dangerous. No one knew what would happen next. He had to speed up. 3 minutes later, Wu Ming had completely transformed all the corpses. Among them, the original mass of the material orb had increased by 7 tons. He could make a lot of black armor and make a lot of money. As for evolution points, he had obtained 13,000 in total. That was right. It was indeed 13,000. Every Class C pet could give Wu Ming more than 3,000 evolution points. Adding them together, he would get more than 10,000 evolution points. Counting the evolution points of the other ferocious beasts, he had 13,000 evolution points. Now I have 30,000 evolution points in my inventory. Even if I use them to buy Class B Master Orbs, I can get 3, enough to subdue 3 Class B pets. Wu Ming was very excited. Although this trip was very dangerous, the rewards were great. Boss, how can you turn the corpses of the ferocious beasts into nothingness? Yi Sanyang saw the whole process of Wu Ming devouring the corpses of the ferocious beasts. She was surprised to find that the corpses disappeared inexplicably. I have a special biological magnetic field in my body. I can use it to mix food for evolution. Every time I mix food, I will consume a lot of energy. To replenish the energy, I have to devour things. Wu Ming chose to explain it this way. The system could not be exposed. However, it was not a big problem to say that it was his own talent. Yi Sanyang was one of his people. It did not matter if he told her this. I see. Yi Sanyang understood, but she was still shocked. Next, Wu Ming dealt with the 2 assassins and took back the combat suit. He asked the space-jumping frog to use Class E sonar to detect the fluctuation of creatures around to determine the level of the pets hiding around. At the same time, the beehive in the air was also working. Nearly 100 worker bees spread out to investigate the surroundings. Not long after, Wu Ming encountered a lone C-class dire beast, but he was not interested in C-class and did not want to waste time, so he continued to search in the inner circle of the gloom forest. This place had a diameter of over 100 kilometers and an area of nearly 8,000 square kilometers, which was equivalent to the jurisdiction of a small city. To find a pet above the B rank in such a large area was like looking for a needle in a haystack. If it weren't for his talent in sonar detection, the search process would have been even more difficult. D-Class Direbeast. C-Class Direbeast. Another D-Class Direbeast. The space-jumping frog constantly used its sonar detection talent to detect the fluctuations of direbeasts in the surroundings. Unfortunately, the detection radius was only 1 kilometer. It was too difficult to find a suitable direbeast. In the blink of an eye, it was nighttime. Wu Ming chose to set up camp. Pets were living creatures as well. They needed to rest. They couldn't work all day. That would exhaust them to death. In an open space, Wu Ming released a 5-ton material ball and used his mind to control it to expand into a 2-story building. The bottom floor was 30 meters in length, width, and height, which was enough for all the pets to live inside. The second floor was only 5 meters high. It was the private space of Yi San Yang and Wu Ming. Countless root-like black tissues extended from the bottom of the building and went dozens of meters underground to ensure that the entire building was as stable as Mount Tai. Even if it was hit by a C-Class or B-Class direbeast, it would not flip over. Tomorrow is the 3rd stage of the trainer competition. I don't know if Su Ying and the others can handle it well. Wu Ming stood in front of the window and whispered. They have the special food prepared by the boss. They should be fine, Yi San Yang said. I hope so. Wu Ming nodded. Under the night sky, the space-jumping frog spat out a big box from its mouth. Wu Ming opened it and took out the food that was still warm. The space-jumping frog's storage ability was very powerful. The food stored at 80 degrees Celsius could be taken out after 10 days and the temperature would still be about the same. The quality of the food almost did not deteriorate. As long as the space-jumping frog was still alive, the food inside could be preserved for life. Therefore, the food could be eaten as soon as it was taken out. There was no need to reheat it. Yes, it's delicious. Wu Ming was eating a big duck leg with a satisfied look on his face. Before he left, he bought enough food to last for a week. He had only been out for 2 days and he still had enough supplies. That night, nothing happened in the dark forest. Early the next morning, Wu Ming and Yi San Yang woke up. The pets had eaten a lot of normal food and recovered their strength. They continued to search for dire beasts of B-class and above in the dark forest. Sunset Domestication Center. The villa area. Captain Wu Ming is still not back. What should we do? Wan Xiu looked outside the door but did not see any trace of Wu Ming. There is no other way. We can only let Peng Xian go first. Su Ying looked at the cute female trainer with a pair of big eyes. She was Peng Xian, the 4th E-class trainer in the Garan Castle team. She had never participated in an official national competition. Peng Xian was very nervous when she heard that she was going to participate. Gu Shaoqing patted Peng Xian's shoulder and said, "Don't panic. We have special food left by Wu Ming, including calming food, healing food, and 5 other type. It's enough to deal with today's competition." Okay. Peng Xian nodded. Soon, the trainers took the car to the stadium. 8 o'clock in the morning. All the teams had gathered. Where is Wu Ming? That's strange. Why is Wu Ming from the Garan Castle missing? Could it be that he was playing with a pretty girl in a clubhouse last night? That's why he was late? The audience had sharp eyes. Soon, someone noticed that Wu Ming was not there and started to make fun of him. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 3rd stage of the trainer competition. Welcome, everyone. Now we have received the list of participants from all the teams. At this moment, the host, Wang Ying, arrived at the scene. She subconsciously looked at the list of teams from the Garan Castle team and was stunned. Then, she could not help but exclaim, "Oh my God, Wu Ming from the Garan Castle is not participating." Instead, he sent an E-class trainer named Peng Xian. Could it be that trainer Wu Ming is preparing to give his teammates a chance to show their strength? Wang Ying looked at the Garan Castle team. Then, she did not see Wu Ming's figure. On the big screen, the situation of the Jialan City battle team was projected, but Wu Ming's figure was nowhere to be seen. Not only was he not participating, he was not even present. Wu Ming is not here? What's going on? Could something have happened to him? Not only were the audience shocked, but the people from all the teams also widened their eyes in disbelief. Although they did not know why Wu Ming was not here, they suddenly felt that the pressure on them had lessened. Some people were even secretly happy. Chapter 239. Strange, why isn't Wu Ming here? In the crowd, Luo Shudai looked in the direction of the Garan Castle team. Her face was full of surprise. Yan Jingji frowned slightly. He felt that things were not that simple. Why wasn't Wu Ming here? He was the trump card of the Garan Castle. If he didn't show up, it would be difficult for Su Ying and Gu Shaoqing to enter the top 30. In the villa area, Lin Yin looked at the big screen. She held her phone tightly and bit her red lip. Wu Ming, where have you been? She realized that things were not that simple. First, she couldn't get in touch with Wu Ming 2 days ago. Now, Wu Ming didn't show up, which made her feel even more worried about Wu Ming's safety. In a tower near the stadium, Xia Xiaoxue drank coffee and looked at the stadium through the window. Her red lips curled up. Wu Ming. If I'm not mistaken, he should have been killed by the 3 sea-level assassins by now. I really want to know the despair in Wu Ming's eyes before he died. He should be regretting his arrogance and ignorance. Xia Xiaoxue sneered and sipped her coffee. In the stadium, Wang Ying looked at Su Ying and couldn't help but ask, "Excuse me, why isn't Wu Ming here?" Su Ying bit her red lips and said, "I'm sorry. Captain Wu is delayed by something, so he can't show up today. I'm sure he'll be here in the next stage. I'm sorry to disappoint you." In the coffee shop, Xia Xiaoxue sneered, How can a dead man come here? Wu Ming really didn't come? Did something happen to him?" The audience was in an uproar. Especially those beautiful girls who were holding signs saying "Wu Ming, I announce you." Their faces were full of disbelief. If Wu Ming didn't come, why would they watch the competition? How could a handsome guy be more interesting? Hearing Su Ying's words, Wang Ying frowned and said, "Since Wu Ming didn't come, let's get ready for the competition." She cleared her throat and said, "Next, we will begin the 3rd stage of the trainers' competition. This time, the content of the competition is communicate and heal pets when they are injured or berserk. In the Sunset Forest, there are 900 marks in total. Each one of them is used to lock up 5 pets that are injured and have gone berserk. Next, the 900 contestants, please draw lots and assign the corresponding marking points according to the numbers you have drawn. It is worth noting that there are 5 pets at each mark. 2 of them are of no rank, 2 of them are of Class F, and 1 of them is of Class E. You can get 20 points for comforting and curing a pet of no rank. Rank F is equivalent to 100 points and rank E is equivalent to 200 points. Therefore, the highest score for an individual is 440 points. Wang Ying announced the details of the competition. In the crowd, Luo Shudai was the first to complain in a low voice, "Humph. So, this is a limited competition. There are 5 pets in total. Even if I can pacify all of them, I can only get 440 points. That's not enough to show off my personal strength. Everyone, are you clear about the rules?" Wang Ying's voice suddenly rang out. "Next, please use the tablet in your hands to draw lot." On the field, Su Ying turned on the tablet. A virtual lottery box appeared on the screen. She tapped on it and the lottery box exploded. The pieces began to assemble into a string of numbers. "I'm number 666. What about you?" Su Ying looked at Gu Shaoqing and Peng Exan. Sister Sue, I'm number 555, Pringxian said in a low voice. She seemed to be nervous and shy. She was indeed a bit nervous about such a big event. I'm number 888. It seems that all of us have good numbers. I think this competition will go well. Gu Shaoqing looked at his number and smiled. Ding! The drawing of lots for this round is over. A mechanical sound came from the speakers on both sides of the screen. Immediately, a map of the Sunset Forest appeared on the screen. Su Ying's, Luo Shuddy's, and the others' names appeared on the 900 marks. Everyone, this round will still be a combination of team and individual competitions. Any team member can ask for help when they need it. Wang Ying added, as for the duration of the competition, it will start at 10 o'clock in the morning and last until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. On the stage, Su Ying looked at Pringxian. Remember the steps that we practiced. You have the special food that Wu Ming left for you. Just follow the step. Don't be afraid. Keep in touch. Yes, of course. Pringxian nodded. Everyone, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Please go to your marks and get ready. The competition will begin at 10 o'clock sharp. Wang Ying shouted again. Let's go. The 900 trainers carried large backpacks and rushed into the dense Sunset Forest with their pet. 3,000 kilometers away, in the dark forest, Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang were sitting on Little Tyrant's back. Under the protection of the blazing yellow duck, the ice-winged dragon, and the other pets, they continued to search the area. However, after such a long time, they still didn't find any Class B beasts. They had encountered many beasts along the way, but they were either Class E or Class F beasts. There were a few Class D beasts and few Class C beasts. Including the Class C caimans, they had encountered 5 Class C beasts so far, but none of them were strong. Wu Ming's goal was clear. He had to capture beasts of Class B and above. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the ability to compete with the Thunder Spirit conglomerate. Boss, according to the time, it should be the 3rd stage of the trainer competition now. I know. Let's hope they can do it well. Wu Ming sighed. He was a bit worried about letting Pringxian take the stage. After all, Pringxian was just a newly promoted Class E trainer. She had never officially taken part in a competition before and was inexperienced. The only thing to be happy about was that he had left 5 special food that should be of great help. Continue to look for beasts of Class B and above. Wu Ming calmed down and asked the space-jumping frog to continue using its Class E talent, sonar, to search the nearby area. In the sky and on the ground, nothing was spared. Hiss! All of a sudden, a muffled breathing sound came from the nearby bushes, which caught the attention of Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang. They looked over and saw a group of 30-centimeter-long chameleons crawling on a mulberry tree in the distance. They were all unranked beasts. Boss, it's a dragon. Well, chameleons are indeed dragons. However, they are the shame of the Dragon Clan. Wu Ming nodded. The Dragon Clan was mighty and invincible. Even if it was just the Frost Quetzalcoatlus, Sky Quetzalcoatlus, and Hook Quetzalcoatlus, which had very weak bloodlines, they still had decent strength. Only the chameleons were a disgrace to the Dragon Clan. This kind of direbeast's combat power is not strong and its potential is not high. Ignore them, Wu Ming said and continued to lead the team to explore deeper. They didn't know one thing. After they went far away, a colorful chameleon appeared on a green leaf at the top of the mulberry tree. There was a sharp horn on its head. That pair of big eyes was filled with the brilliance of starlight. Hiss! A pair of gorgeous colorful wings appeared on the back of the colorful chameleon. It flapped gently and turned into a colorful light and disappeared without a trace. Chapter 240. The chameleon arrived at the top of the tree in an instant. The chameleon stood up like a human and looked down at the forest. It tilted its head as if it was thinking. Whoosh! The chameleon flapped its wings and flew toward the center of the dark forest. Soon, the chameleon landed on top of a black pyramid, as if it were a king looking down at the world. Wu Ming and the others happened to be on their way. They were searching carefully so they didn't move fast. At this rate, it would take them a couple of hours to reach the center. At the sunset forest. It was 9:30 in the morning. Peng Xian, Su Ying, Gu Shaoqing, Luo Shudai, Yan Jingji, and the other 900 trainers had all arrived at their designated spots. There was a stone house in front of them. Peng Xian went in and saw the 5 pets trapped in cages. They were all injured and their eyes were bloodshot. Clearly, they had gone berserk. Roar, roar, roar! The pets went berserk when they saw Peng Xian. They kept banging on the cages, which only worsened their injuries. I feel sorry for them. Peng Xian bit her red lips. If they are hurting the pets on purpose for the competition, then the organizers are too cruel. In the sky, Wang Ying was riding on a flying pet. She looked down and made an announcement into the microphone. We have detected that all participants have arrived. Please get ready. The competition will begin as soon as the time is up. Trainers, please don't worry. Most of the pets have been on the battlefield. They were severely injured in the war and their former masters died. Therefore, they were transferred here because they went berserk. Peng Xian was relieved to hear her explanation. Peng Xian felt sorry for the pets. In other areas, Su Ying, Gu Shaoqing, and the others were ready. They took out the 5 types of food, including the tranquility food, and were thinking about how to make the pets eat them. The only thing in the eyes of the pets that had gone berserk was to fight. Making them eat was harder than climbing to the sky. To feed them successfully, they had to resort to tough means. Time moved on. 10 o'clock in the morning. Everyone, time is up. Please begin. Wang Ying's voice was heard. In a stone house, Luo Shudai couldn't help but cover her ears with her hands. She was worried that her eardrums would be shattered. Emperor penguins, suppress them. Luo Shudai winked at the emperor penguin beside her. The emperor penguin immediately stepped forward and held down an unranked fox. Creak, creak, creak. The fox let out a sharp cry. Hee hee, press it firmly for me. Luo Shudai smiled. She took out some specially prepared food and poured it into the fox's mouth, causing it to fall into a sluggish state. As a result, the berserk state naturally subsided. Then, Luo Shudai started to bandage its wounds. Her speed was very fast, and she rarely made any mistakes. In the gymnasium. Look, Luo Shudai's method is really rough, but it seems to be effective. As expected of a genius girl, she really has some tricks up her sleeve. The audience looked at the big screen and started discussing. On the other side, Su Ying, Gu Shaoqing, and Peng Xian had reached an agreement. They all had their pets hold down the unranked pets that were in a berserk state. That was the only way for them to proceed. After eating the calming food, the pinned ferocious beast calmed down. The crimson glow in their eyes gradually faded away. No wonder the calming food is prepared by Captain Wu. It is really effective. Peng Xian was relieved to see that the pets were calming down. She immediately followed the instructions. The competition was in full swing. Since the 3 participants from the Garan Castle had the special food that Wu Ming had left for them, they proceeded step by step. They were not fast, but the results were good. Half an hour later, Su Ying was the first to heal an unranked beast. She helped it to stop its berserk state. Done. Su Ying smiled. She had earned 20 points. She looked at the scoreboard and saw that Peng Xian and Gu Shaoqing had also earned points. She felt more confident. 2 hours passed in the blink of an eye. Su Ying, Gu Shaoqing, and Peng Xian progressed steadily. They had successfully healed 2 unranked pets and 2 F-rank pets. It was true that the pets had not fully recovered from their injuries and their emotions were not completely stable. Therefore, some points were deducted from the 3 of them. Even so, the 3 of them had earned more than 200 points. They were in the top 20 of the individual ranking list. Look, Luo Shudai is the first one to heal all the pet. She has earned 400 points. In the air, Wang Ying, the host, was announcing the competition. Wang Ying, who had a D-rank Emperor Penguin, was very violent. She told the Emperor Penguin to hold down the injured pets and force all kinds of medicine into the pet's mouth. She also fed the pets food that could soothe the minds of the pets. Therefore, she was able to heal them quickly. Even Yan Jingji had only earned a little over 200 points. Done. Luo Shudai patted her butt and sat down on the steps in front of the stone house. She took out a bag of snacks from her bag and began to eat. She was waiting. There was about an hour before the end of the competition. During this time, the medicine would continue to take effect. The pet's injuries and emotions would gradually stabilize. Luo Shudai's score would go up and she would get closer to the full score of 440 points. However, while she was eating, she suddenly stopped, because she remembered that during the last competition, she was sitting on the steps and eating glutinous corn. Then, she choked on it. Wu Ming saved her. At the moment, Wu Ming was absent from the competition. Luo Shudai felt empty and the snacks in her mouth were tasteless. Where the hell have you been? Luo Shudai couldn't help but mutter. In the other areas, Su Ying and Gu Shaoqing used their pets to control the violent E-rank pet. They fed the pets calming food. Finally, the pet's emotions were brought under control and they began to heal. All of a sudden, Su Ying heard Peng Xian screaming. Peng Xian, what's wrong? I only have an F-rank pet. I can't control the violent E-rank pet and I can't feed it calming food. What should I do? Don't worry. Calm down the other 4 pets first. We will go and help you after we calm down the pets here. Okay. Peng Xian was relieved. She looked at the E-rank pet that was roaring in the cage. She was so scared that she was trembling. She almost burst into tears. Captain Wu, I am sorry. I have let you down, Peng Xian bit her red lips. She was a bit disappointed. She was excited that she could take part in the official competition. She thought she could get some points as well. But at the moment, Peng Xian was helpless when faced with the violent E-rank pet. Only then did she realize how powerful Wu Ming was. This man only left her 5 portions of special food, and she could get more than 200 points. If he were to take part in the competition himself, would he be able to crush Luo Shudai, who was currently ranked first? Thinking of this, Peng Xian's admiration for Wu Ming grew stronger. 10 minutes later, Su Ying and Gu Shaoqing arrived at the scene. They used their E-rank pets to help Peng Xian suppress the last violent E-rank pet and feed it the calming food. As the E-rank pet gradually calmed down, they began to heal it and the points were increasing. At the same time, at the dark forest, Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang finally arrived at the central area of the inner circle. In front of them was a lake with a length of 1 kilometer and a width of 300 meters. The level of the lake was as smooth as a mirror. Next to the lake stood a black pyramid with a height of 100 meters. A majestic and magnificent atmosphere greeted them. Wu Ming realized that his last chance was inside this mysterious black pyramid. Chapter 241. Boss, I can feel a surge of killing intent. Yi Sanyang pointed at the black pyramid across the lake. Her pretty face was full of worry. As an assassin, she had sharp senses. The pyramid gave her a sense of danger. Therefore, she alerted Wu Ming at once. I feel it too. Wu Ming nodded. He stared at the black pyramid, thought about it, and said, Stay where you are. Rest here and adjust to your best condition. Then, try to explore the Black Pyramid. I have a feeling that there will be Class B beasts in there. This mission will be very dangerous. Yes, I will be careful. Yi Sanyang nodded. At the Sunset Forest, the 3rd stage of the trainers' competition was coming to an end. Luo Shudai looked at the screen. Her points were increasing, but she could not bring herself to be happy. Time's up. Wang Ying's announcement came from the sky. Congratulations to Luo Shudai for winning first place in the individual competition with 430 points. Yan Jingji is second with 419 points, and Su Ying is third with 408 points. In front of a stone house, Su Ying looked at her points on the screen and heaved a sigh. I used the 5 types of food left by Wu Ming and I still can't get first place. It's so hard. You're much better than me. I only have 399 points. Gu Shaoqing spread his hands, feeling helpless. Peng Xian stared at her points with her eyes wide open. She was actually ranked 10th. Individual points, 375. However, Peng Xian soon calmed down. She looked at Gu Shaoqing and Su Ying gratefully. If it weren't for the two of them who arrived at the last moment and suppressed that violent earrank pet for her, she wouldn't have had the chance to be treated. The one she should thank more was Wu Ming. If it weren't for the 5 types of special food he left behind, the 3 of them would be lucky to get 200 points on average. Wang Ying's announcement came from the sky again. Now the total points are calculated. Congratulations to Garan Castle for winning the first place in the 3rd stage of the trainers' competition with 1182 points. Congratulations to Thunder City for winning 2nd place with 999 points. Congratulations to Daxing City for winning 3rd place with 902 points. Not long after, Wang Ying announced the top 10. As for the other rankings and points, they could only look at the big screen. First place, that's great. The players from Garan Castle jumped up in excitement. High in the sky, Wang Ying looked at the score on the screen and felt that it was unbelievable. She held the microphone and shouted, I didn't expect that Garan Castle would be able to take first place in the overall team score of this competition without the help of trainer Wu Ming. This is really shocking. At the same time, I also hope that trainer Wu Ming can settle his affairs as soon as possible and return before the next competition. Let us look forward to it together. Everyone, that's all for today. See you in the next competition. With that said, Wang Ying left on her flying pet. In the coffee shop, Xia Xiaoxue put on her sunglasses and picked up her suitcase. She stood up with a sneer and looked in the direction of the stadium. Return? What a joke. What you're waiting for is the news of Wu Ming's death. With that, she disappeared into the shadows. 100 kilometers away, in the villa area of the beast tamers. What's going on with Brother Wu? I don't know. This doesn't look like his style. Because Brother Wu doesn't look like someone who would run away in the face of danger. He might have encountered some danger. Huang Sanba, Zuma Mei, and Mu Wanyan were discussing. Zhang Okeyun crossed her arms and frowned. She was also worried. She felt that Wu Ming might have gotten into trouble. Wu Ming did not know that the 3rd stage of the trainers' competition had come to an end. At this moment, he and Yi Sanyang had lunch and rested for half an hour. They were full of energy and came to the Black Pyramid. Sanyang, you must be careful, Wu Ming said in a deep voice. Okay. Yi Sanyang nodded. She turned on a D-grade super shield. The surface of the shield was covered with a thin layer of dark gold armor. With the double protection, even a C-grade beast would not be able to kill them all at once. Buzz buzz buzz. A large number of worker bees flew around the pyramid, giving Wu Ming a view. He finally got a full picture of it. There were layers of stairs on the surface of the pyramid. One could walk to the rooftop with railings at the top. What's going on? After getting a full picture of the Black Pyramid, Wu Ming frowned. Because he did not see any entrance or exit on the surface. Boss, what's wrong? We can't seem to get in. Is that so? The two fell into silence. After thinking about it, Wu Ming said, I think there should be something like a secret compartment on the surface of the Black Pyramid. Let's check it first. Then, we should be able to open the passage. I'll go check it now. Yi Sanyang turned on a D-grade super shield and went up the Black Pyramid. Wu Ming did not stay idle. Under the protection of blazing yellow duck and little tyrant, he stood under the black pyramid. He reached out his hand and touched the special runes on the surface of the black boulder. He saw 3 murals. In the first painting, a strange beast with a dolphin head stood on the top of the pyramid. It was stepping on the bones of countless beasts. It was chilling. Why does it look like an alien? Wu Ming blinked. That beast did look like a xenomorph. However, the second mural was different. In the painting, the ferocious alien beast had its head pierced by a spear and died on the spot. Damn, it died just like that? Wu Ming complained. This spear looks familiar. Will there be a predator behind it? He had such a wicked thought. However, the content of the third mural made Wu Ming feel surprised and confused. In the painting, the spear that killed the alien beast had disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by a cloud of black fog. That was the content of the 3 murals. What the hell? Why does this mural have no beginning or end? Wu Ming could not help but complain. Boss, I found something. At this moment, Yi Sanyang shouted. Wu Ming raised his head and looked at Yi Sanyang, who was standing 30 meters above the ground. He noticed that she was pointing at a black brick on the surface of the black pyramid. Did you find something? Wu Ming quickly followed. A moment later, he looked at the black brick that could be taken out from the black pyramid. He noticed that there was a groove on its surface. It needed a special key to be used. Boss, what do we do? I have an idea. Wu Ming reached out his hand and filled the groove on the black brick with a spiritual sphere. He opened the internal mechanism. Gotcha! The black brick shattered into sand. In the ruins, a long black key that was 20 centimeters long appeared. Is this the key? Wu Ming held the key. Next, find the keyhole. We should be able to enter the black pyramid. Chapter 242. With the help of the worker bees, the search went on smoothly. Half an hour later, Wu Ming and the others arrived at the top of the tower. They found a keyhole on the roof that was 5 meters long and wide. Click. As Wu Ming inserted the key, the sound of gears could be heard. The entire roof was shaking. Then, a stone door rose. Behind the door was a dark and gloomy tunnel that was slanted 45 degrees downward. The tunnel seemed to lead to hell. The ice pterosaur is too big. We can't go in. That's troublesome. Wu Ming didn't know what to do. The tunnel was 2 meters long and wide, only suitable for small pets. But soon Wu Ming's eyes glowed. He patted the ice pterosaur's head. Then, under Yi Sanyang's shocked gaze, the ice pterosaur turned into a ray of light and shrank into a Class C master ball the size of a fist. Let's go in. Wu Ming was the first to go in. Yi Sanyang followed him closely, keeping an eye on the surroundings. Click. Just as they were about to enter the black pyramid, the passageway suddenly closed, trapping everyone inside. This place is so strange. Yi Sanyang frowned. It's all man-made. There's nothing to be afraid of. Wu Ming calmed himself down. He held the saber that was transformed from the dark golden armor in his hand. There was a strong flashlight above his head to illuminate the surroundings. This was a tunnel that went straight down. It extended for at least 100 meters until it reached the horizon. Wu Ming realized something. The black pyramid that was 100 meters tall on the ground was only the tip of the iceberg. This mysterious realm was much bigger than what the outside world could see. After going down for 300 meters, the surroundings became damp and the temperature rose to 60 degrees Celsius. Fortunately, the dark golden armor could keep the temperature out. Otherwise, Wu Ming and the others would not be able to withstand the heat. At this moment, the tunnel suddenly opened up. It turned into a stone chamber that was more than 20 meters in length, width, and height. There was a stone platform in the middle that looked like a coffin. On the other side of the tunnel, there was a half-closed stone door. Whoosh! In the darkness, a cold wind suddenly blew. the sarcophagus suddenly opened, and a 2-meter-tall, strangely shaped beast rushed out, pouncing at Wu Ming with a speed of more than 20 meters per second. Whoosh! Wu Ming did not panic. He raised his long saber and turned it into a dark golden spear, piercing through the oncoming beast. The ferocious beast's speed was close to grade F, but its body was very weak and could be penetrated by the dark gold spear. However, in the next moment, strong acid flowed out of the beast's body and dripped onto the black brick along the dark golden spear. It corroded a large area and black smoke billowed. Strong acid corrosion, it really does look like an alien, Wu Ming muttered. Boss, what's an alien? A type of ferocious beast, Wu Ming chose to explain. After a short contact, he found that these beasts only looked like xenomorph. They also had strong acid, but their combat power was slightly weaker. They were not real xenomorph. Because the essence of the dark gold armor was a spiritual ball, it was immune to any strong acid corrosion, and its surface was always as good as new. Wu Ming activated the Eye of Insight. Name: Acidic Beast. Grade: Ungraded. Remark: Has the natural talent strong acid corrosion. A type of ferocious beast with strong reproductive ability. It likes to eat rotten things. So it's called an acidic beast. I thought it was an alien, Wu Ming complained. He shook off the dead, acidic beast and walked to the sarcophagus. He saw that it was empty inside, with only some licking marks. It seemed that there was a corpse buried in the sarcophagus, but it was eaten by the acidic beast later on. The group continued to go deeper into the tunnel. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The next scene made Wu Ming's scalp go numb. The ceiling of the tunnel was filled with acidic beasts. Some of them were even grade F and grade E, and they were very strong. Puff! The blazing yellow duck spat out a flame python, and all the acidic beasts were roasted. They fell to the ground with a crackling sound. TSK, and I thought it would be strong. In the end, this is it? Wu Ming curled his lips. With the blazing yellow duck leading the way and Little Tyrant and Yi San Yang protecting him, they went deeper into the tunnel while converting the acidic beast's special energy. Their evolution points kept increasing. Deep underground, due to the intrusion of a creature, a treasure box slowly opened. Countless black fog came out of it and formed a strange black spear in the air. Whoosh! It tore through the air and went up. Wherever it passed, be it grade F or grade E acidic beasts, they were all penetrated by the black spear. Acid spurted out, and they could not resist at all. In the tunnel, there were endless acidic beasts. Wu Ming was speechless. He had already earned a few thousand evolution points with tears in his eyes, but he still did not find any beast above grade B. Not to mention grade B, he did not even find any grade C or D beast. Could it be that my guess was wrong, and there are no powerful beasts here? Wu Ming mumbled. At this time, they were already a few hundred meters underground. Along the way, they passed by more than 10 huge stone rooms, but they still did not find anything of value. Suddenly, a sharp sound pierced through the air. Be careful! Yi San Yang was the first to sense the danger and blocked the tunnel. Wu Ming immediately released his dark gold armor and formed a shield in front of him. Whoosh! A black spear flew over. Just as it was about to pierce the shield formed by the dark gold armor, it stopped immediately. This maneuverability is too scary. Wu Ming's eyelids twitched. When the black spear was flying, there was a sharp sound piercing through the air. Although there was no sonic boom, it was at least 100 meters per second. However, with such a fast speed, it stopped in an instant. Looking at it calmly, Wu Ming was shocked. It's the black spear that appeared in the mural. Wu Ming recognized it and immediately activated his insightful eye. Name: Demon Atomic Beast. Grade: Grade B, Combined State. Or remarks: A special dire beast that is almost immune to all physical damage. It was originally a Grade A dire beast, the demonic beast, but it survived the gamma-ray burst and mutated into a unique dire beast in the world. In the combined state, it is grade B. In the scattered state, its strength will decrease and it temporarily has no talent. Seeing this, Wu Ming was shocked. Why does the grade B demon atomic beast have no talents? What's going on? Wu Ming could not help but ask the system in his heart. Ding. In the combined state, the demon atomic beast's combat power is comparable to a grade B dire beast. However, it has no talents and can obtain corresponding talents by absorbing evolutionary food. Moreover, it does not need to transform again and the talent absorption is not limited by its level. The system explained. Wu Ming's eyes flashed. In other words, if I tame the demon atomic beast, I can directly let it absorb grade B evolutionary food, skipping the grade F, grade E, grade D, grade C evolutionary food. There's no need to level up step by step, right? The system said, yes. After getting this answer, Wu Ming became excited. Grade B demon atomic beast, I want it. He quickly took out the grade A master ball and held it tightly, ready to make a move. On the other side, the demon atomic beast seemed to have sensed danger. With a whoosh, it turned around and went back the way it came. After it, Wu Ming immediately moved. While the group chased after the demon atomic beast, in the passage, the rainbow chameleon with wings on its back was hanging upside down from the ceiling. It tilted its head and looked in the direction they went. Then, it stuck out its tongue and followed them. Chapter 243. In the tunnel, Wu Ming and Yi San Yang advanced side by side. They chased after the devil atomic beast all the way to the deepest part of the Black Pyramid, which was more than 600 meters away from the surface. At this time, the tunnel in front suddenly opened up and turned into a huge underground cave. The walls were inlaid with special glowing gems that illuminated the surroundings. Wu Ming and the others broke in and saw the devil atomic beast floating above a special metal box. It was no longer in the shape of a spear but turned into a cloud of black mist that kept churning. Then, it turned into a face with empty eye sockets. It looked very strange. What a strange beast! Yi San Yang had never seen such a strange beast. It looked very creepy. This is the devil atomic beast. It was a demonic beast in the beginning. After being hit by the gamma-ray burst, not only did it not die, but it also underwent a shocking transformation and became the only beast in the world. Wu Ming explained in a deep voice. Even the gamma-ray burst can't kill it? Yi San Yang was stunned and found it unbelievable. The gamma-ray burst was known as the destroyer of life. Once hit, it could destroy the genetic material of living creatures and cause the death of life. It could even destroy the atmosphere. It was very terrifying. However, the devil atomic beast survived. How tenacious was this beast's vitality? The more Yi San Yang thought about it, the more shocked she became. Yes, it's very scary. It has tenacious vitality. It doesn't have any talent yet, but it already has the combat power of a grade B beast. Wu Ming's expression was a little serious. What a monster! Yi San Yang's expression was serious. Hiss! The devil atomic beast let out a cry. It was the sound of every atom in its body rhythmically moving. It was very strange. Both sides faced each other. The battle was about to start. In the tunnel, the rainbow-winged chameleon was hanging upside down from the ceiling. It slowly crawled over and hid in the shadows, not attacking at all. It was like an elegant hunter, examining its prey. In the underground cave, Wu Ming held the grade A master ball tightly. At first, he was prepared to use 10,000 evolution points to buy the grade B master ball. This way, he could save the grade A master ball. However, after using the Eye of Insight to see that the devil atomic beast was a demonic beast, Wu Ming realized a problem. Strictly speaking, the demonic atomic beast was an A-class. It was impossible to subdue it with the B-class master ball. What a troublesome dire beast! Wu Ming couldn't help but complain in his heart. However, this also proved that the potential of the demonic atomic beast was very high. In the future, it would be able to advance to a class without any obstacles. Capturing this beast was equivalent to acquiring a pet that could reach the A rank at any time. Boss, there's a situation. Just as Yi Sanyang's notification sounded, Wu Ming discovered that the strange human face formed by the devil atomic beast trembled. It was like quicksand trembling, turning into two sharp spears. Be careful, Wu Ming immediately warned. Rip! The two spears pierced towards Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang respectively. Their speed exceeded 300 meters per second. Even the C-grade blazing yellow duck was far inferior to this speed. Clang clang! Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang were stabbed by the black spear at the same time. They retreated a few steps but were fine. Hiss! The two spears intersected in mid-air and transformed back into a human face, coldly staring at the two of them. It seemed to be a bit puzzled, because its attack just now didn't break the defense of these two humans. It was really incredible. The dark gold armor is so powerful. Yi Sanyang looked at the armor on her body and found that she seemed to be unable to move. The entire set of armor seemed to have increased in weight by more than 1,000 times. The dark gold armor can change the weight. Just now I adjusted the weight of the dark gold armor to 5 tons. Therefore, we weren't hit by the spears. We were only pushed back a few steps, Wu Ming said in a low voice. At the critical moment, he only had time to make the dark gold armor on him and Yi Sanyang return to its original weight. All of them were more than 5 tons. Even so, the black spear could still make them take a few steps back. The impact was simply terrifying. The dark gold armor can change the weight? Yi Sanyang was shocked. Yes, Wu Ming said. In the process of chasing the demon atomic beast, Wu Ming used the recently obtained matter spiritual ball on him and Yi Sanyang and made the weight become 1/10,000th of its normal state. Just now, he had restored the original weight of the matter spiritual ball. The two of them were equivalent to wearing 5-ton armor, and their resistance to impact had skyrocketed. If not, they would have been sent flying more than 100 meters by the black spear. Even if their defense wasn't broken, their internal organs would have been shattered. However, the two of them couldn't move now. After all, the armor on their bodies weighed 5 tons. If it wasn't for the dark gold armor being strong and resisting the weight, it would be impossible for Wu Ming and Yi Sanyang to still be standing on the spot with their physiques. Hiss! The demon atomic beast seemed to be very dissatisfied. It let out a roar and charged over again. Wu Ming tried to use the Master Ball. However, the demon atomic beast was too fast. With his judgment, he couldn't hit it at all. Whoosh! At this time, Wu Ming threw out a Master Ball and released the C-grade Ice-Winged Dragon. As soon as it appeared, it immediately spat out a mouthful of cold air and froze the demon atomic beast. At the same time, the blazing yellow duck spat out a flame python and crashed into the demon atomic beast. Whoosh! It scattered on the spot like a black mist and crashed into the wall of the cave, shattering all the rock. It hit! Yi Sanyang's eyes lit up. However, Wu Ming sighed and said, "It's useless. The demon atomic beast is almost immune to all physical attack. It's in an atomic form. Fire, ice, and other attacks can only restrict it and can't cause any damage." No way? Isn't that equivalent to an immortal body? Yi Sanyang was even more shocked. It can't be helped. It can survive the gamma-ray burst. Its life form is different from normal life forms. It's not wrong to say that it's immortal, Wu Ming said in a deep voice. He was now thinking about a problem. That is, how should he hit the demon atomic beast with the Master Ball? If he couldn't hit it, even the SSS-grade Master Ball would be useless. Oh right, system, does the Master Ball have an automatic tracking function? Wu Ming suddenly had a thought. Yes. the system said. Wu Ming's eyes lit up. Since there was an automatic tracking function, he didn't have to worry. Consume 100 evolution points to perform an automatic tracking function that lasts for 10 seconds. The system added. Puff. Wu Ming almost vomited blood. 100 evolution points to perform a 10-second tracking function? That's too ruthless. However, in order to catch the demon atomic beast, he could only go all out. With that thought in mind, Wu Ming consumed 100 evolution points and poured a special energy into the A-grade Master Ball in his hand, activating the automatic tracking function. Then, he prepared to make his move. Chapter 244. Ding. The automatic tracking function has been activated. After the Master Ball is thrown, the 10-second timer will start. The system reminded Su Ping. Good. Wu Ming held the Master Ball tightly, ready to throw it with all his might. After all, there was a 10-second automatic tracking function. As long as the Master Ball hit the demon atom beast, he would be able to capture it. However, right then, something unexpected happened. Hiss, hiss, hiss. He heard a strange noise coming from behind him. Since the weight on his body was still there, Wu Ming could not turn around to look. He had to rely on the worker bees scattered around to get a better view. In the air behind him, a colorful winged chameleon was flying over. The chameleon was not fast and appeared to be graceful. However, when it stuck out its tongue, the chameleon was able to entangle the ice-winged chameleon, making the ice-winged chameleon shrink. Then, the chameleon swallowed the ice-winged chameleon. Quack, quack. The blazing yellow duck felt goosebumps all over its body. It couldn't help but cry out in fear. At this moment, the rainbow-winged chameleon stuck out its tongue again and wrapped it around the blazing yellow duck with lightning speed, swallowing it into its stomach. How is that possible? Wu Ming turned pale with fright. Those were two Class C pets. However, they couldn't even put up any resistance before they were swallowed by the chameleon that was only dozens of centimeters long. They're not dead yet. Wu Ming could feel that there was a connection between the blazing yellow duck and the ice-winged chameleon. Whoosh! Right then, the demon atom beast turned into a mass of black mist and compressed itself into a spear. At a speed of hundreds of meters per second, the demon atom beast pierced toward the chameleon. Whoosh! The rainbow-winged chameleon's movements were nimble. With a slight dodge, it dodged the attack. Whoosh! The chameleon flapped its wings, creating two gusts of wind. One was bone-chilling and the other was as hot as fire. With a bang, the demon atom beast's spear was shattered. At the same time, the chameleon finally appeared in front of Wu Ming. He used his eye of insight to read its information. Name: Rainbow-winged chameleon. Rank: B Senior. Remarks: a mysterious mutated ferocious beast. It has a B-grade talent: swallow the sky and swallow the earth. It can use the talents of the pets or ferocious beasts it has swallowed. Seeing this, Wu Ming's pupils shrank. No wonder those two talents look so much like the special abilities of the frost-winged dragon and the blazing yellow duck. It's because the rainbow-winged chameleon can use the talent of the devoured beast. Wu Ming was delighted. He decided to keep the rainbow-winged chameleon as well. At that time, with the demonic atomic beast in his left hand and the rainbow-winged chameleon in his right hand, both of them would be able to display the strength of a rank B. He would no longer have to worry about the so-called Thunder Spirit Corporation. Ding! 10,000 evolution points have been deducted. You have purchased a B-class Master Orb. I wish you a happy life. You will be happy every day, and you will be a groom every night. The system sent out a blessing. When Wu Ming heard this, he almost vomited blood. What kind of situation is this? Why are you still sending such weird blessings? Wu Ming pursed his lips. He used another 100 evolution points to activate the B-grade Master Ball's 10-second tracking function. Ding! Ding! Both master balls were activated by Wu Ming. He took a deep breath and was ready to throw out the balls with all his might. In the air, the rainbow-winged chameleon kept flapping its wings, attacking the demonic atomic beast with both the cold and the hot streams, forcing the demonic atomic beast to retreat. The demonic atomic beast was almost impossible to kill. However, the demonic atomic beast didn't have any talents at the moment. It would be difficult for the demonic atomic beast to defeat the rainbow-winged chameleon that had many new talent. Boss, what should we do? Yi San Yang was stunned. This rainbow-winged chameleon that had just appeared had swallowed the frost-winged dragon and the blazing yellow duck. That was horrifying. At the moment, the rainbow-winged chameleon could even suppress the demonic atomic beast. Could it be that they were destined to be defeated here today? Don't panic, Wu Ming said in a low voice. Whoosh! Right then, the rainbow-winged chameleon suddenly stuck out its tongue. Caught off guard, the rainbow-winged chameleon swallowed the little tyrant in its three-headed form. *T. Wu Ming didn't have time to react. Faced with C and B class pets that could move hundreds of meters per second, no average human could react in time. Roar! After swallowing little tyrant, the rainbow-winged chameleon was able to transform into a Class D super ability. Its body expanded several times and it became more muscular, like a real rainbow-winged dragon. Even two heads grew out from each side of the rainbow-winged chameleon's shoulders. PFF. The rainbow-winged chameleon's three heads opened their mouths at the same time, completely dispersing the demonic atomic beast and suppressing it. The rainbow-winged chameleon was smart. It had hunted down the demonic atomic beast many times, but the demonic atomic beast had escaped every time. This time, the rainbow-winged chameleon targeted Wu Ming and his team. Relying on the long-range talents of Little Tyrant, the frost-winged dragon, and the blazing yellow duck, the demonic atomic beast was completely suppressed. Whoosh! The rainbow-winged chameleon flapped its wings and was about to swallow the demonic atomic beast. Go, Master Ball! Right then, Wu Ming made his move. He used all his strength to throw out the Class B Master Ball and targeted the rainbow-winged chameleon. Whoosh! The Master Ball turned into a translucent water arrow and accelerated to hundreds of meters per second. Hiss! The rainbow-winged chameleon sensed danger and nimbly dodged the Master Ball. However, the next moment, the Master Ball suddenly changed direction and continued to chase after the rainbow-winged chameleon. However, the rainbow-winged chameleon was not to be trifled with. It turned back many times in the air, trying to avoid the pursuit of the Class B Master Ball. At first glance, it looked as if dozens of beautiful light beams had appeared in the air, intertwining into a net. However, as the saying goes, while the saying goes, the devil is 10. The rainbow-winged chameleon still underestimated the acceleration of the Master Ball. It only lasted for 7 seconds before it was hit on the head. It screamed and immediately fell from the sky. PFF. PFF. It opened its mouth and spat out 3 balls of light. The balls of light slowly enlarged and revealed the figures of Little Tyrant, the frost-winged dragon, and the blazing yellow duck. At this time, they were all unconscious and weak, as if they had exhausted their energy. In the air, the demonic atomic beast that was no longer suppressed by the flames and cold finally gathered into a cloud of black mist. It screamed and was ready to fight back. However, at this moment the Class A Master Ball came. Whoosh! The demonic atomic beast sensed the danger and quickly scattered. However, the Class A Master Ball had already activated its tracking function and immediately locked onto a part of the black mist and crashed into it. Crackle! A series of lightning exploded and struck the surrounding walls. Even the rocks were blown apart. Gravel rolled, scaring Wu Ming and Yi San Yang. The next moment, all the body components of the demonic atomic beast were forced to gather in the middle and turned into a fist-sized black demonic ball that fell to the ground. This was its true form. Done! Wu Ming let out a long breath. Within a day, he had used a Class B Master Ball and a Class A Master Ball to finally capture 2 adult dire beasts with powerful potential. Boss, is this a success? Yi San Yang, of course, recognized that it was the Master Ball. Thinking of the process of the blazing yellow duck and the frost-winged dragon being subdued, she guessed something and was pleasantly surprised. Yes, a success. Wu Ming nodded. Chapter 245. Really? Yi Sanyang still found it hard to believe. She didn't know the true rank of the rainbow-winged chameleon, but since it could suppress the demon atomic beast, it must be something. Wu Ming was able to capture these 2 beasts successfully, which meant that his strength had soared. Next, he finally had the confidence to face the overbearing Thunder Spirit Consortium and could even launch a powerful counterattack. As a personal bodyguard, Yi Sanyang was very happy. Of course it's real. How can it be fake? Wu Ming used his mind to lighten the armor on him and Yi Sanyang. Although the impact resistance was greatly reduced, they could finally move freely. Tap, tap, tap. Wu Ming walked toward the Devil's Ball and the rainbow-winged chameleon on the ground with heavy step. He picked up the Devil's Ball first. Holding it in his hand, the Devil's Ball seemed to be very light, weighing only 1 kilogram. It was cold to the touch, as if he was holding a cold sea of stars, which made him daydream endlessly. Before launching the Master Ball, Wu Ming had pricked his finger with the spikes attached to the Master Ball to absorb the blood. Therefore, he had signed a lifetime pet contract with the demon atomic beast. The contract would not be cancelled until one of them died. Demon atomic beast, wake up! Wu Ming pressed a groove on the surface of the Devil's Ball and activated it. With a crack it broke. Whoosh! The Devil's Ball turned into a mass of black quicksand, dancing in the air and gradually condensing into the figure of a demon with 2 horns on its head. It had no facial features and was half a meter tall, floating in the air. Hiss, hiss! The demon atomic beast let out a cry. Then, like a mass of quicksand, it spun around Wu Ming, confirming the identity of its new master. Ring, ring, ring! A crisp bell rang. The demon atomic beast spun around Wu Ming's left hand, forming a black bracelet. It would only attack when Wu Ming needed it. Good job! It can achieve the same effect as the material ball. More importantly, it has an additional function compared to the material ball. Flight! Wu Ming exclaimed. The demon atomic beast's body structure was very different. No detector could detect its energy index. This meant that no one else knew its level. This ensured that the demon atomic beast had an excellent concealment method. What a miraculous pet! Yi Sanyang looked at the demon atomic beast that had turned into a black bracelet on Wu Ming's left wrist and felt that it was too magical. There's something even more amazing. Wu Ming smiled, walked to the other side, and patted the sleeping rainbow-winged chameleon. Hiss, hiss! It shook its head and looked at Wu Ming, who was in its line of sight. A sense of familiarity arose spontaneously. Come! Wu Ming waved his right hand, and the rainbow-winged chameleon raised its head and yawned. Then, it jumped onto Wu Ming's palm and curled up into a ball. It looked like it was only the size of a fist. The rainbow-winged chameleon was very small. When fully extended, it was only 30 centimeters long. However, such a small and delicate pet had reached a powerful Class B, and it had a freakish talent. B-Class devour the heavens and earth. This talent was impressive. The rainbow-winged chameleon could use the talents of the pets it had swallowed. If the rainbow-winged chameleon had swallowed the demon atomic beast, it would have gained a fluid body similar to the demon atomic beast, which would be immune to almost all physical damage. That way, the rainbow-winged chameleon would have nothing to fear even when facing Class A beasts. After capturing this powerful beast and turning it into his pet, Wu Ming opened his eyes of insight to read more details. Name: Rainbow-winged chameleon potential, S rank, B senior, talents. B class devour the heavens and earth, B class terror, top speed, 666 meters per second. Well, the rainbow-winged chameleon has S potential. Wonderful. However, it only has 2 B-grade talents. Without the support of other talents, how did it grow to this stage? Wu Ming couldn't help but ask the system. Ding. The rainbow-winged chameleon is S-class, and its situation is special. Its situation is similar to the violet mist butterfly. In the process of growth, it doesn't necessarily need other talent. As long as it grows older and takes evolution crystals, it can reach S-class. The system gave an explanation. Hearing this, Wu Ming's eyes widened. He remembered that generally, beasts could reach the potential level after they reached adulthood. So, the rainbow-winged chameleon was still underage? That would be awesome. But soon, Wu Ming noticed another problem. Since the rainbow-winged chameleon could reach Class B, it must have eaten a lot of evolution crystals. Little guy, have you ever eaten a kind of shiny crystal that can make you evolve? Wu Ming poked the rainbow-winged chameleon's belly with his finger and asked in a low voice. Hiss, hiss. The rainbow-winged chameleon opened its eyes wide and thought for a moment. Suddenly, it flapped its wings and disappeared into the sky like a beautiful rainbow. A few seconds later, the rainbow-winged chameleon flew back from the depths of the underground cave with a crystal the size of a thumb in its mouth. It threw the crystal into Wu Ming's palm. It really is an evolution crystal. Wu Ming was excited. Where can I find this? Take me to see it. Hiss, hiss. The rainbow-winged chameleon roared and flew ahead slowly. Wu Ming asked Yi Sanyang to stay behind to take care of the unconscious ice-winged dragon and other pets while he went with the rainbow-winged chameleon. They ran all the way. They took several turns along the way. Finally, Wu Ming arrived at the deepest part of the underground cave hundreds of meters away. It was cold there. There was a stalactite in the center with many grooves on it. Some of the grooves were inlaid with evolution crystals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 35, 98. Oh my God, more than 100 evolution crystals. I'm rich. I'm really rich. Wu Ming was thrilled. The price of one evolution crystal was at least 10 million. Conservatively speaking, there were more than 100 evolution crystals. The total value was more than 1 billion. I'll take them all. Wu Ming took a deep breath. He took out a wooden box and put the evolution crystals into it. The corners of his mouth never left the corners of his mouth. He knew that this was his chance to shine. Soon, Wu Ming dug out all the evolution crystals on the stalactite. Then, he noticed that the inside of the stalactite was moist. A special liquid was flowing out and slowly condensing in the groove. Given enough time, the liquid would become a brand new evolution crystal. This is the place where evolution crystals are produced. Wu Ming held his breath. He had made up his mind to keep this a secret. In the future, when he ran out of evolution crystals, he would come here to harvest them. He made a mental note of the coordinates and returned to the original location with the rainbow-winged chameleon. He fixed his eyes on the strange metal box on the ground. Chapter 246. The box was where the demon atomic beast lived. Since the demon atomic beast had been tamed, Wu Ming wanted to take the box with him. However, he was surprised when he looked inside the box. All kinds of weird symbols were written on the inside of the box. They were words. But they weren't the words of the world of pets, nor were they the words of the past. They were strange hieroglyphs. Wu Ming looked at them and found that he couldn't understand them. So, he glanced at them with his eye of insight, but he still couldn't find any relevant information. Ring, ring, ring. All of a sudden, he heard the sound of metal colliding. Wu Ming looked at his left wrist. The demon atomic beast had appeared. Part of its body was wrapped around Wu Ming's wrist. The other part had turned into a snake, but it had a weird human face and was staring at the metal box. Then, it trembled slightly. The face turned into a small hand, which pointed at different places on the metal box as if it were entering a password. Crack, crack, weird sounds came. The metal box was glowing. Then, it flew to the sky and shattered into countless particles that emitted different colors and spread out. Then, it turned into a 3D image. In the vast universe, there was a planet with abundant resources and many creatures. However, right at that moment, a gamma ray burst from the depths of the universe. In an instant, the entire planet was destroyed. Under the impact of the powerful energy, the entire planet was shattered and turned into cold space dust. Only one of them survived. It was the demon atomic beast. It had no one to rely on in the universe and could only wander freely. In the end, it was caught by a mysterious mechanical arm with an energy shield and thrown into a meteorite. The meteorite was thrown out by the mechanical arm, which passed through the vast universe and billions of nebulas. In the end, it fell into the dark forest. The powerful blast spread out and formed a crater with a diameter of 100 kilometers. As for the central point of impact, a deep pit appeared, which gradually turned into a lake. As for the meteorite, it was only 10 meters in diameter at first. However, it could devour the surrounding rocks and soil to rebuild itself. As time passed, the former meteorite became the current Black Pyramid. The 3D projection of the metal box came to an end here. It recorded the birth process of the demon atomic beast and how it was sent to the gloom forest. Even the origin of the Black Pyramid was explained. This Black Pyramid was actually rebuilt by a meteorite using the nearby rocks and soil. Could it be that there's a brand new extraterrestrial civilization behind this? A civilization with such advanced technology could probably beat the entire sky blue planet, right? They sent the demon atomic beast to the dark forest and made a plan for who knows how many years. What is their purpose? Wu Ming was at a loss. When Yi San Yang saw this scene, she also felt that it was unbelievable and her heart trembled. "Boss, we seem to have made a shocking discovery," Yi San Yang said in a deep voice. "Yes, this is indeed a shocking discovery. But with our current strength, it's better to keep this a secret. Otherwise, the ones who will die will definitely be us," Wu Ming said with a serious face. Yi San Yang deeply agreed with this. If someone knew that they had discovered an extraterrestrial civilization, they would be very interested. By then, S-level, SS level, and even the more horrifying SSS level might come looking for them. Given their current strength, it would be difficult for them to deal with A-level beasts. S-level beasts were even more horrifying. There was a huge gap between A-level and S-level. Someone once said that 10 A-level beasts at the peak of A-level could not defeat one S-level pet. All of them would be killed in a second. That was how horrifying S-level beasts were. When the 3D image was finished, all the particles gathered in the middle again and formed a metal box that fell to the ground. Wu Ming thought about it and threw it into the system space. The demon atomic beast turned into a black bracelet again and was worn on Wu Ming's left wrist. Woof, woof, woof. At this moment, Little Tyrant finally woke up. The ice-winged dragon and the hot yellow duck woke up one after another. They sat on the ground, looking drowsy. "Come on, let's eat." Wu Ming patted the space-hopping frog's head. Immediately, the space-hopping frog spat out a big bag that was filled with food made from ferocious beast meat and common herbs. The food was specifically used to replenish the strength of the pet. The three pets wolfed down the food and regained some strength so that they could move freely. "Come in." Wu Ming turned the ice-winged dragon into a sea-level master ball and put it on his waist. He sat on Little Tyrant's back and led the team back the way they came. On the way back, Wu Ming communicated with the colorful winged chameleon through the pet contract. He knew that after the colorful winged dragon swallowed Little Tyrant, the ice-winged dragon, and the hot yellow duck, the colorful winged dragon could extract their strength and use their talents. Therefore, after the colorful winged dragon spat them out, little Tyrant and the other pets would appear to be exhausted. But they would be fine as long as they could replenish their energy. Of course, the colorful winged chameleon could also devour ferocious beasts forever and gain their talent. However, the proud colorful winged chameleon didn't care about the talents of the ferocious beasts in the dark forest. At most, the colorful winged chameleon would swallow the ferocious beasts for a while and spit them out when the time was up. Roar! The colorful winged chameleon rubbed its head against Wu Ming's hand and howled, as if it was begging for mercy. Do you think little Tyrant and the other pets have good talents? No problem. When I get back, I will make you some food for evolution. Wu Ming smiled. On the way back to the top of the Black Pyramid, Wu Ming learned something. The colorful winged chameleon found a small vent in the Black Pyramid. Only a small creature like the colorful winged chameleon could go through. The colorful winged chameleon dug a hole to get in because it had discovered the existence of the demon atom beast and had been wanting to devour it. Demon atom beast. Do you know about the acidic monster? Wu Ming looked at his left hand and asked. Soon, he received a message. It turned out that the acidic monster was an oviparous species. It was also created by the extraterrestrial civilization that had the mysterious mechanical arm. Its purpose was to protect the Black Pyramid like a guard. So that's how it is. Wu Ming suddenly understood. Wu Ming was very interested in the purpose of the extraterrestrial civilization to release the demon atom beast and the Black Pyramid. However, on second thought, his strength was still too weak. For the time being, he didn't have the qualifications to fight against the extraterrestrial civilization. Developing himself well was the most important thing. Soon, the group came to the top of the Black Pyramid. Wu Ming found the keyhole and opened the passage with the key. He finally saw the light of day again. He stood under the setting sun, bathing in the sunlight. Looking at his shadow elongated by the setting sun, and then looking at the dark forest that was gradually getting dark, Wu Ming took a deep breath. I'm back! Wu Ming put away the key and clenched his fist. Looking at the magnificent scenery below, a sense of heroism arose spontaneously. The time to fight back was coming. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.